Welcome to Moarhammer, and welcome to Warhammer 40k 8th edition. It's Death Guard versus Blood Angels. Today on Moarhammer, we look down on this battle grid here, which has been ruined, which has been desolated, and the Blood Angels have been called in to investigate what is going on here. And they've stumbled into a Death Guard trap. It's Moarhammer versus Winters SEO, and Liam has brought his Blood Angels to investigate this ruined Acropolis, this ruined cathedral, and I have brought my Death Guard Warband, the end of all things. It's exciting. I'm excited. You excited, Liam?
Very excited.
So what's going on here is cleanse and capture, Dawn of War deployment. The Death Guard will be deployed on this battle edge here. The Blood Angels are coming in from that battle edge there. There's an objective over there, an objective over here, which is quite nice. And all the other four are running down no man's land in the middle. This outpost this set of rooms looks to be important. One right close to the center of the table, and there's two. There's one here and one back there. Two in this ruined cathedral here, where these ancient walls have crumbled, where these alien plants are growing around. This game is going to be 1,750 points. Maelstrom of War, cleanse and capture, 3 cards a turn. Every turn, it's really easy to film. And as it's me and Liam together, we're just going to talk lots and lots and lots. So we need something easy. Yeah. Will the Blood Angels be able to survive this Death Guard ambush? Or will the Death Guard cleanse and capture this once holy site? Liam does something different now about armies and introductions. Let's hand over to Liam.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel, and we have another guest.
Hi.
Some of you may have seen him before, probably only from the more Winters series on Warhammer, I'd imagine. But this man does.
Series.
It is, yeah. But he does a lot of battle reports himself. So this time he's come to us. We're filming in a different place, so we have avoided the kitchen now. That's no longer our chosen venue of choice, and we've kicked everybody out of my living room.
Nice.
Because it's nicer and warmer and cosier.
Yeah.
We have a cuddle chair.
You can swing a cat in here.
Yeah, there is a bit more space, basically.
You might paint the walls with its brains, but you can swing a cat in here.
It does mean that the format layout is ever so slightly different, which you'll see as we go through. Hopefully it won't affect it too much. I think it's going to look better. We've had a bit of a practice, but we'll see. Anyway, we are playing a 1750 point game. I have to get that in there because last time I didn't tell anybody how many points we were playing.
Didn't you?
And someone actually said, what points were you playing?
Amateur.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Probably should tell you that.
Yeah.
So we have a 1750 point game of cleanse and capture, Dawn of War deployment.
It keeps things simple.
Yep, I have.
When me and you are in the room together, this is going to take twice as long to film as normal because you just won't stop
Literally
talking.
sent the wife and children out for the day because
so we need to keep it simple.
Yeah. So yeah, 1750 points. Like I say, cleanse and capture. I have brought the Blood Angels to the table again, painted by the wonderful Martin Waller. If you haven't seen them, where have you been? They've been in White Dwarf and all sorts. And Winters has brought his end of all things, the Death Guard. So we will talk about our lists, we will jump into the scenario and then show you deployment, etc. And then we'll have fun for a few hours, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah.
Right, thanks very much. Today I'm bringing the Blood Angels. I have 2 detachments. I've got a battalion detachment and a vanguard detachment.
I'm trying really hard not to swear or say something inappropriate
Yeah,
while
don't.
I'm putting some effort in.
I'm tired about my list now.
Go on.
Right, so we have in the battalion detachment, we have Chief Librarian Mephista heading it up. And I'll show you all the psychic powers for all this stuff when we're in game. I won't bore you with it now. But we also have a Librarian Dreadnought. We have 3 troops choices. Firstly, we have a 5-man scout squad. They're all armed with camo cloaks or equipped with camo cloaks. 4 of them have sniper rifles, including the sergeant, and 1 has a missile launcher. We have 2 5-man tactical. You've got a lot of growing to do to catch me up. We've got 2 5-man tactical squads. One has a melter gun only, the other one has a heavy flamer, and the sergeant is armed with a power sword and hand flamer. And then we have a Baal Predator that has a twin assault cannon on the top and 2 heavy bolters side by side to start mowing down some poxwalkers. Then we move on to the Vanguard detachment, and we have a chaplain as the HQ, and we are using the stratagem Death Visions of Sanguinis for a single command point. So his command point for that detachment's gone straight away. Basically gives him the Black Rage.
Right, okay.
And gives him the Death Company keyword or something. Anyway, and then we have 3 elite choices, one of which is a 5-man Sanguinary Guard squad. There is 3 Glaive and Carmines, 1 Axe and 1 Power Fist in that squad. We have a Death Company Dreadnought with Blood Talons, Heavy Flamer, Storm Bolter, Magna Grapple, and finally, in the elite choices, we have 10 Death Company Marines, all armed with bolt guns and chainswords and no jump packs.
Okay.
Just to be different.
Running up there.
Nothing to do with the fact that that's all I've got.
Okay.
And then finally, we have a Forge Weld unit. We've got a Storm Eagle Assault Gunship.
Nice.
Because it's gorgeous.
Nice.
That's got twin las cannons, twin multi-melters, and the Vengeance launcher sat on top, which I've never used before.
Well, it's the transport capacity of 25 or something?
20 Legion models or whatever. So that will have the 10 Death Company and probably Mephiston and probably the Chaplain loaded inside to come and bring the pain.
That's a big hammer to crack a nut.
Yeah, so the Chaplain has the relic, the Veritas Vitae. Every time we use a stratagem on a 5+, get a command. Actually, I'm going to give that to Librarian Dreadnought because I think you have to be on the table to get that back. Okay. But every time I use a stratagem, I roll a dice on a 5+, I get a command point back. And he has the Artisan of War Warlord trait, basically increases the damage characteristic of his melee weapon by 1.
Who's that?
That's the Chaplain. I'm loading him up as the Warlord.
Not Mephiston?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Doing it differently. So hit means his Crozius Arcanum is 3 damage.
Is it?
Yeah, which I think is important when you look at the fact that you've got Disgustingly Resilient. So the more damage he can kick out, the better.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. So that's the Blood Angels. Hopefully you've seen some gorgeous images of Martin's painted minis, and if everybody could get onto him to paint me some more, because I want more variation and I can't be bothered to do it myself. And now we will jump in to the end of all things.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. So today I brought the Death Guard Warband, the end of all things. The Death Guard actually organised themselves in very Legion-esque ways, unlike all the other Chaos Warbands out there rampaging around doing their thing. So they're kind of set up still as they were 10,000 years ago. So I brought Battalion, that makes narrative sense to me. And the idea behind this list was also to bring some Terminators, because you said you're bringing Blood Angels, so I brought some Terminators along for a big scrap. I brought 14 of them.
I know.
2 units of 7. And there's a Blight launcher and the Mace of Contagion. No, that's the
Flail.
Dark Angels.
Flail of Contagion.
Flail of Contagion. Same thing, isn't it?
I'm
Dark
here
Angels.
for you. I'm here for you.
Dark Angel. Yeah. So there's a Flail thing. There's the Blight launcher in each of the 7-man squads. And one of the squads has got 4 combi plasma. And one of them's got a combi melter. So that's where I started. And that was like 800 points. And then I thought, I better bring some troops. So that's 2 units of 7 Blight Lord Terminators, so obviously 7 Plague Marines, Blight Launchers, Power Fist in there, and then 2 units of 15 Poxwalkers. And then I didn't have any shooty, so so I thought I'd better bring some shooty. So then I brought a tank, which was a Plague Burst Crawler with the Entropy Cannons and the Heavy Slugger, and the Mortar on top, which can fire indirectly, which is quite nice.
Never faced one.
No?
No, it'd be interesting.
Their toughness 8. With
yeah,
a 5
I know.
up invulnerable save and 5 up disgustingly resilient. They don't go down very easily, but looking at the board, you can hide from them.
Well, you can't.
It would just be the mortar coming over the top. And it hits on 4s, that's the thing. As soon as it moves, it's hitting on 5s.
Well, see, the thing with the board is, someone told me, lots of line of sight blocking terrain.
Yeah, Who told you that? It sounds like a genius.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
maybe.
Because then it makes it more tactical, moving around all over. So that's, and then a couple of the bloke drones, Fetid bloat drones with the Plague Spitters, because I think they're probably the best thing in the Death Guard codex index with the Plague, because they have mobility, and the Death Guard don't have any mobility, so this gives you mobility because they move around 10 all over the place. Plus they can advance, still fire with their Plague Spitters because they're assault weapons.
And they're really tough. Well, they're auto hit anyway, aren't they?
And they're auto hitting, yeah. So, and it's...
I really like them.
I like them. I've got
really good.
I've got 7 now.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh.
7 bloke drones, that's how many.
But today he's only bought 2.
I bought 2. And so that's a pretty rounded list. So we've got elites, HQ, fast, troops. It made narrative sense. I didn't have many points left over for HQ, so chucked in 2 malignant playcasters. Wanted to bring the Brothers Grin, but they're a bit more pricey. I gave one of them the Corrupted Staff, which is a +1 to smiting, and the Corrupted Staff is his relic, and he's got Revoltingly Resilient on the Warlord. So the Warlord 4-up save to wounds unless they're mortal, and +1 for his smitey. So what you've actually got is a list that will slog it up the table, but you've got some, excuse me.
You need more tea.
Completely unprofessional. Slog it up the table, but you've got some mobility with the bloke drones and with the Terminators deep striking in their backfield. But Terminators only move 4 inches, so you can just run away from them.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. Yeah. Maybe, perhaps. Anyway, I love the way you build your list as well. It doesn't matter what's good and strong. Just chuck it with something I want to use to start with, and then build from there. That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully this will be quite an even balanced game, I like to think. Like I said, we're playing the Cleanse and Capture mission, so that's 3 cards each every turn, 6 objectives on the table, Dawn of War deployment. So what we'll do now is we'll jump into the board and I'll make up some sort of scenario.
And make tea.
And make tea, of course. So here we are after deployment, and finally I got my camera back because someone quite likes the limelight, don't they?
Sorry.
No, don't be. It's fine. So thankfully, Winters has told you the scenario. We have deployed. You hopefully have seen that on the nice little deployment sort of picture kind of thing that we do. But people love it, so we're going to keep doing it. And this is how it looks. I'll start first with what I did with my Blood Angels. So the first thing I did, I obviously placed first. So we rolled off. Mr. Winters placed first objective, I placed last. He picked this table edge, which is odd for me to film from my opponent's edge. And I got the other edge over there. So
I didn't think it through. My models were over there, so I picked that edge. But thinking about that, I should have pick this one.
Yeah, he didn't pick tactically, he picked because he's lazy. But there probably won't be many tactical choices going on in this game, which is fine, to be honest. So what we have is I placed my Bile Predator over there first because he had nothing down and I wanted some decent arcs and gaps where it can drive around. He then kindly put unit Terminators in reserve. So I placed, I think next was some tactical Marines on the objective. And he placed a unit in reserve. So I put some scouts up here because there's another objective in there, as you can see. We'll talk you through objectives in a minute. And then finally he started putting things down. So the first thing that went down was this Fetid Bloke drone and his Plague Spewers. I responded by placing the Death Company Dreadnought, when this catches up, over there in between those leaves. You can see him. He then placed his second Fetid Bloke drone down here. So you'll see opposite in that little area is my Librarian Dreadnought. I think then you started putting Poxwalkers down?
Poxwalkers, Plague Marines, stuff like that. Basically, I've got the drones right and left because they can move, and a big Nugget in the middle, ready to be supported by the Malignant Playcasters. It's as simple as that, really. And if you have a look, there's like 2 objectives here in the middle-ish of the table.
Yeah, so there's one here.
And one there.
And there's one right in here.
And then there's 2 here in this ruin. One by your scouts and one there. So I think there's 4 weighted towards this end of the table. So that's why I stuck most of my chunk down here. And also it was as far away from your Storm Eagle with all your nasty bad guys in it. Because your Storm Eagle's got Death Company and Sanguinary Guard and
so basically Winters put his first unit of Poxwalkers down. I then placed my Storm Eagle. Inside my Storm Eagle there is 10 Death Company Marines with chainswords and bolters, a chaplain, the Warlord with his relic and his Warlord trait, etc. There's also 5 tactical Marines with a heavy flamer, hand flame and a power sword, and Mephista with his psychic goodness. So I put that there with everything. He then deployed a second unit of, I think it was Poxwalkers. I then put, he's chucking dice around, I then put 5 Sanguinary Guard in Deep Strike Reserve. You see them over there on the shelf. They went straight into Deep Strike Reserve, and then he deployed the rest of his army. So I've got a large chunk of my force in that flyer. Could really deal with it not being blown up before it all gets out. But the idea, obviously, is that that's mostly slow-moving stuff, because I haven't taken that many jump packs for a Blood Angel's army. The idea is to fly the assault gunship forward and drop everything out in the middle of his Death Guard, horrible, pussy, decaying lines here, and try and cause some trouble. The other thing was I didn't really want to be hit from behind with his Dreadnoughts, Dreadnoughts, Terminators. Yes, mate.
Do you realise how many stones there are on the floor? Where do they all come from?
I do realise. I'm hoping my wife doesn't realise.
Keep treading on stones.
Yeah, well, as if you haven't got slippers to go with that flat cap. So basically, the gravel here, that's what it is. But don't say it too loud because I don't want her to know. Because I'll then have to hoover and stuff, and I don't want to do that. That's being domesticated. Anyway, as I was saying, this is not going to be the most tactical battle report in the world, as you've probably just found out, because we get distracted really easily. But hopefully it'll be good fun. Hopefully there'll be some sort of tactics and strategic sort of relevance to this, and it's not just random. We are playing, as you know, cleanse and capture, because I think he's already told you that. So 3 objectives a turn each. We've shown you where 4 of the objectives are. There is another one over here in this relic right there. Ruin, sorry. And over there is the final one with those 5 tactical marines there with a melter gun. So, as I've said, you know why I've deployed the way I've deployed. So hopefully what he'll do now, without getting sidetracked too much, is he'll tell you why he deployed the way he deployed.
I did, though. I said basically your Storm Eagle's over here and it's big and nasty. There's more objectives over here. So that was my total of my thinking.
That is as tactical as it gets today on this channel. Anyway, like I've said to you already, filming in a different location, filming with some different kit. Please let me know what you think. I think it's better in here and more comfortable. But I obviously like to hear other people's point of views. So if we don't like it, we won't do it again.
My feet hurt.
And he's going to whinge for 3 hours about his feet. Anyway, with that, we need some rolling, I think. Right, so I've grabbed the dice. He's grabbed some dice. Basically, I get +1 because I dropped first, as you saw.
Yeah.
So we roll off.
I'll roll for tension. I'll roll first. Can you beat a 1?
Well, I get +1.
Yeah, I think you can beat a 1. So can I steal from you?
So I did. I've got 5.
I'm going to try and steal.
Go on then.
You shouldn't steal from friends, though.
You shouldn't steal from
and
friends.
You haven't got much long-range shooting.
I don't have much. I have some.
Mind you, I do want to bring that Storm Eagle down before you come tearing in. So let's try and steal. No stealing.
Right, that's it. So the Blood Angels have responded to the Ancient Call. They're down here. The Death Guard are waiting in ambush. We'll move on to Blood Angels. Turn 1. So the chaplain aboard the Storm Eagle surveys the battlefield, and this is what he's told the Blood Angels they must do. They must secure Objective 3, defend Objective 4, and master the warp. So, this is what we have done. You will see the Storm Eagle has flown forward. He is on Objective 4, and I'm aware that flyers can't hold objectives, but we're setting this one up for the second turn and dump our payload out and hopefully hold off the Death Guard. Hopefully keep the end of all things at bay. The Death Company Dreadnought, he advanced forward. We rolled for his advance and we got a lucky 6. So he's on Objective 3. He has managed to secure that objective, and that Ancient is sat there waiting for the enemy to come to him. The Sanguinary Guard, I almost said the Stern Guard then, the Sanguinary Guard have dropped down just behind Objective 4. I could start defending it, but is there much point with this zombie horde coming clambering towards us? Or do I charge the Sanguinary Guard in, try and tie them up, hold them up, slow them down, whilst everything inside the Storm Eagle starts to defend and castle up around that objective? Otherwise, what we did is we moved the Bar Predator forward. He's sat in here. Basically, his assault cannons were out of range, although his heavy bolts were. I know I'm going to suffer a -1 to hit, but we're going to get a better arc of fire by sitting there. We pushed the Librarian Dreadnought forward there, 6 inches. He can't do much else, so there's not much point. But we're about to cast Wings of Sanguinis, I think, on him and jump him forward. The scouts sat still in the objective, obviously, heavy sniper rifles. And I did keep those 5 tactical marines back there on the off chance Objective 5 comes out. I was curious about it, whether I do keep them there or not. But for now, I don't think there's much more that they can do.
You know, it'll probably never come out now. It'll never come out.
No, I won't get Objective 5 now because they're sat back there. Yeah. But, yeah. There's also the opportunity to deny a little bit of space for his Terminators to drop in, although I'd imagine they probably aren't going to drop over there. But hey-ho. So that's our movement phase. That's why we've done what we've done. Obviously, we can't get the stuff out of the Storm Eagle on this turn because it has to get out at the start of your movement phase, and there's no point getting out over the back over there somewhere. So we have moved this forward for the next turn. But we are now going to move into the Blood Angel Psychic phase, and that Librarian Dreadnought is going to try and do as he is told and master the warp. So currently Mephista tucked away in the Storm Eagle. My only psyker on the board is this Librarian Dreadnought, but he's far away. He wants to get himself into the fight, so he's going to cast Wings of Sanguinis. And he gets it. So only needing 5, he got that on 9. Next, he's going to cast a Quickening on himself because he really wants to get himself into this fight with these Poxwalkers. So it costs us 7 warp charge. and that is 10. Looks like he'll be making it into the fight.
I know. I'm going to try and deny 24. I need 11. So...
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't. Well, that's as cocked as you like. No, he gets it. He's in.
Yep, so what's he called? The Malignant Playcaster attempted to deny this Librarian. He has the quickening. That gives him an additional 3 inches to his assault and advance rolls. It also gives him an additional D3 attacks when he charges as well. So it looks like he's going to be slamming into those Poxwalkers alongside this Golden Host. First, the gunner in the Bile Predator opens up down on this unit of Plague Marines. So we're going to shoot with the Assault Cannon first, so heavy 12. Hitting on 4s.
That's really bad.
He wasn't lying, it was really bad. So, strength 6, toughness 5 for being Death Guard. That is, however, 2 wounds.
No, all 3 wound. You got a 3.
Of course, yeah.
So it's -1, so 3 up save becomes a 4 up. And disgustingly resilient. You don't kill any, yay!
Yeah, okay, that's how that's going to go. Anyway, we do have 2 heavy bolters, so they are also hitting on 4s.
Because you moved.
Because I moved, yes, thank you.
Strength 5, toughness 5.
They are indeed 4s.
2 this time. 2 3 up saves, 4 up saves because it's -1. Look at that snake eyes. And then 2 disgustingly resilient. May the power of Nurgle protect me. Power of Nurgle protects me once. 1 Plague Marine dies.
That little winter symbol there.
It's pretty, isn't it?
But you can't get hold of them. They're available nowhere. So 1 Plague Marine has been taken out by the Bile Predator. So we're now going to move on to, I think, the Sanguinary Guard. So next, the 5 Sanguinary Guard that dropped in from high orbit are going to open up on the same unit of Plague Marines. These are their Angelus bolt guns. So they are Assault 2, hitting on 3s. So actually quite successful, dropping 3 of the 7 Plague Marines already. I have a Stormbolt on this Librarian Dreadnought here. I wasn't sure whether to go back into those Plague Marines or take out the Poxwalkers. The problem is, if I hit the Plague Marines, he may remove his Sergeant from the front, which increases my charge distance from the Sanguinary Guard. So, what we're going to do is fire his Stormbolter into these Poxwalkers. Rapid fire range, rapid fire 2 becomes 4 shots. And 3 hit. Strength 4, toughness 3, that's 3s to wound. And 2 wounds.
Right, they don't have a save, but they are disgusting and resilient. 5 up. No, 2 of them die.
So now the scouts over here have trained their sniper rifles down on the enemy warlord. So we've got 4 sniper shots coming into him.
The green one.
The green one, yeah, thanks mate. And then finally the missile launcher, who is down in the basement, is going to open up on this, what's he called? Fetid Bloke Drone, thank you. We're going to use a stratagem for him. It costs a single command point called Flak Missile. Basically, he makes a single shot, and if successful and he hits, he causes D3 mortal wounds. But first, we'll fire the sniper rifles, hitting the warlord on 3s.
Oh no.
Oh no? That's 3 hits. 6 is to wound for mortal wounds, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's your strength. Their strength 4, toughness 5, so it's 5s to wound, but 6 causes mortal wound.
That's the one.
In addition.
So come on, 6s. Nothing. That was poor. Anyway, so now for the flak missile, he hits on a 3, single shot, obviously, because we're using the stratagem. He hits.
D3 mortal wounds.
3 mortal wounds.
3 mortal wounds. Hit a critical part of pussy stuff. Yeah, 2. It's got 8 left.
That's not bad, actually, for a single command point. I quite like that. I wanted to use that the last time I used the Blood Angels, but they got destroyed before I got a chance to fire the missile launcher. Hey, that's 2 mortal wounds taken off that Fetid Bloke drone. That's a good start.
Only 8 to go.
Although the snipers did whiff. The only thing we've got left to fire now is the Storm Eagle gunship with its 2 twin last cannons, its twin multi-melter, and its Hellstorm missile launcher. Sorry, it's called a Vengeance launcher, not a Hellstorm missile launcher. And said Vengeance launcher is going to shoot into the second unit of Poxwalkers here to try and start thinning that herd down. I was umming and ahhing as to what to do with the last cannons because he has 2 bloke drones and that Plague Burst Crawler. However, another Plague Burst Crawler only hits on 4s, and these bloke drones auto hit with AP -1 and are very good. So
it can float up and put lots of spewy stuff in your engine intakes, and your engine intakes won't like it. It's very smelly.
Because in the grim dark future. There is flamers that can hit flyers. Interesting. Anyway, so what I'm going to do instead is I was thinking about splitting fire and hitting this bloke drone over here and maybe looking at this plague burst crawler. No, what I'm going to do is fire both twin last cannons and the twin multi-melter into this one bloke drone who's now on 8 wounds.
That's a lot of firepower.
In an attempt to try and destroy him and to get first blood. Obviously, with Disgusting Resilient and his invulnerable save, there's a chance that might not happen, but I think we'll give ourselves the best possible chance by opening up with everything onto him. Anyway.
It's also Grandfather Nurgle. Grandfather Nurgle has touched me. I'm touched by Nurgle, and he will keep me safe. Thank you, Grandfather.
Often been touched by your grandfather?
Grandfather Nurgle, yeah, often touches me.
Right, okay.
She tells me
first we will fire the two twin. First we'll fire the twin multi-melter. He has power of the machine spirit, so he hits on 3s. Both miss. That's a good start. Grandfather Nurgle is looking after you after all.
Yeah.
Now we'll move on to the 2 twin last cannons for 4 shots. Hit on 3s. 2 hits, not great.
Bad.
Strength 9 though.
Toughness 7.
So 3s to wound.
That's really bad.
I'm going to re-roll that with a command point.
I'll push you down to 4.
Yeah, so 2 wounds.
Okay, 2 wounds. 2 5-up and vulnerable saves, right? Because it's AP -3, so
Yeah.
I need my demon save. I will deny you. Oh no, I won't.
So that's 2d6 wounds. Now I do need it high, and I've already used my re-roll.
That's not enough.
For 7,
That's
it's not
7.
bad.
So 8 to get through. So 7, disgustingly resilient, coming up. And I make 2, 3. I make 3. So I take 4 wounds.
Yep, you make 3, take 4 wounds, so it's down to 4 wounds. That could have been much better. That should have been much better. However, we will now fire the Vengeance Launcher into the unit of Poxwalkers right in front of that Storm Eagle gunship. So, 2d6 shots. For 4. For 4 shots. I blame Martin's model. So, hitting on 3s. For 2 hits, this isn't great.
The pilot is clearly a little bit drunk.
Strength 5, AP -1, so 3s to wound. 2 wounds.
I don't care about your AP. I've got disgustingly resilient, and I don't.
So I do make 2 Poxwalkers go pop.
So if you took a couple of wounds off a bloke drone and 2 Fetid. And 2
yeah, so
Poxwalkers,
I've killed 2 Poxwalkers and taken 4 wounds off a bloke drone with a Storm Eagle gunship that's 300 and something points. But his main task is to get the Blood Angels into the fight. So let's see what happens in the next turn, because you never know. As long as he delivers his payload correctly, it might still be worthwhile. However, that is the end of my shooting phase. I'm going to roll straight into the charge phase and declare some charges. Then we'll roll some Overwatch off camera, make the charge moves, and go from there. So anyway, the Librarian Dreadnought, who has +3 to his charge rolls with the quickening, is going to declare a charge on these Pox.
Just roll it. They have no Overwatch. Let's roll up, and if you get big money, you're in.
4 + 3 is 7.
You need to only be a 1 inch away. You're probably in.
So we'll measure that up in a minute. And I'm going to spend 2 more command points
2
on the Sanguinary Guard over here.
Right.
They're going to multi-charge.
Are they?
And they're going to try and hit the Plague Marines and the Poxwalkers. The stratagem I'm using for 2 command points is called Descent of Angels. I get 3d6 charge roll instead of 2. So this needs to be good.
That's good.
That's good. 13 inches means they are probably in. However, we have got some Overwatch to shoot first. So after charge moves, the Blood Angels have braved the stench. The Sanguinary Guard have dived in to the Plague Marines and the Poxwalkers. I've made my pilot move because I'm going to activate those first. They've now tied up the other unit of Poxwalkers as well. So all 3 units here, with the exception of his HQ choices, are tied up by the Sanguinary Guard, which is good, but it does mean he can hit me back. The Librarian Dreadnought came careering down that rock. He is now in with the Poxwalkers, and obviously when I activate him I get D3 additional attacks because of the quickening. But first we'll do the Sanguinary Guard, because I don't want him to interrupt me and smack me back with that power fist before I get a chance to fight. So 3 in Carmine Glaives, I think they're called. Basically they're swords. So 3 attacks hitting on 3s. They all hit. So Winters just pointed out that I forgot to tell you, I'm obviously attacking the Plague Marines. I think it's a bit of a waste killing Poxwalkers with those at the moment. But I didn't tell you, that's very naughty of me. Anyway, they are Strength 4. Plague Marines are Toughness 5. But because of the Blood Angels special rule, I get +1 to wound. So I am wounding on 4s. That's not too bad. That's 4 wounds. And they are all at AP -3. And they do D3 damage each.
I need 6s, right?
Yeah, 6-up saves.
I make 2.
You make 2.
Nice.
SM Battle Reports logo there as well. There. So that's 2d3. So the first guy Takes 3 wounds for 3 disgusting resilience.
He's dead.
He is dead. He got what? He got 2 off. The second D3 is 2. It's a 2 disgusting resilience.
He's dead.
He's also dead. So I killed 2 Plague Marines. Next, we're going to swing with the Encarmine Axe. This is +1 strength. So
There's more, is there?
there is more. That's just 3 of them.
Oh no.
So the Encarmine Axe hits on 3s. He hits twice. He's +1 strength, so he's strength 5, but with +1 to wound for the Blood Angels special rule, he gets to wound on 3s. 1 wounds, 1 fails to wound. So that's 1 5-up save, because it's -2.
Who's that? 5 up.
Yep, you're all good. And finally, the Power Fist.
Power Fist.
The Power Fist is obviously a -1 to hit.
Did these guys only get 2 attacks each?
They do get
I
2
would have
attacks
thought
each.
Sanguinary Guard would have had more attacks than that.
2 attacks isn't bad when you consider their weapons, to be honest.
Yeah, but Terminators get 2 attacks, and they're like the elite. Mind you, they're elite of the elite with the golden things.
They're Terminators with wings instead of invulnerable saves, basically.
Oh, okay. Right.
So, anyway,
So you killed 2 Plague Marines.
that's how well that Power Fist did. I did expect more from the Sanguinary Guard, I won't lie. However, unless you're spending 2 command points to interrupt me...
No.
No?
No.
In which case, the Librarian Dreadnought will attack next.
You can...
So he gets D3 extra attacks for the quickening. For
Nice.
3, so that gives him 6 attacks in total.
He's definitely mastered the warp.
Hitting on 2s, because he's a Librarian Dreadnought. With a fail over... Yeah. So that's 5 hits, but we wound on 2s.
Yeah, they're very squishy.
That is 5
And
wounds.
it says 3 damage a time.
It is a flat 3 damage a time, so that's
Okay.
5 sets of 3 disgusting resilient
Disgusting
saves.
resilient, 1's dead. 2's dead. 3's dead. 4's dead. 5's dead, and I've spent all my disgustingly resilient saves for the rest of the game.
That was some amazing speed rolling there. Quick hands from
Thanks.
the man in the cap. So that's 5 Poxwalkers killed. Mr. Winters will remove those 5 Poxwalkers, and then he'll come back to us with his attacks back.
So I pulled from the back, barreling in this way, making sure one of the Poxwalkers is still within an inch of that Dreadnought, because otherwise your Dreadnought wouldn't be engaged in close combat next turn and would be free to rampage off and do some other nasty things. So I need to keep them locked up. You can't fall back and assault something else, right? So, and Plague Zombies are mindless. So they will not fail morale. He'll stay locked up. He can't assault further down the line. That's my thinking. However, so this guy hitting that, everything else hitting the sanguinary, them guys.
Easy
So
for you to
this guy-
say.
This guy hitting here. If there's more than 10 of them, they'd be hitting on 4s, but there's less than 10 now, so I'm hitting on 5s. So 2 attacks hitting him on 5s. 1 hit, I need a 6. And I
You
wound.
get a
I
6?
Get hurt him.
3 up armor save?
No, he's
Yeah,
made
we're
it.
good.
And then I got 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 7. There's another guy there. 7 attack, 14 attacks going into the dudes.
That's good maths. I'm impressed.
That's 14. So you hit on 5s. That's pretty good hitting. That was 5 hits. And I'm wounding strength 3, your toughness 4 still, right?
Yes.
So I'm wounding on 5s. And I get 3 wounds.
3 wounds. That's I'm going to use your dice, that's okay.
Get some rusty
3,
meat
2 up.
cleavers.
That is a dead Sanguinary Guard.
Is it? Do they have
They're
2
2 wounds
each?
apiece.
Rusty meat cleaver in your groin. You don't want that. What?
Do you not gain a Poxwalker back as well?
Oh yeah, I want to kill some of the Poxwalkers. Curse of the Walking Pox. He now, that veteran noble who's been alive for hundreds and hundreds of years, has turned into a Poxwalker.
That makes me sad. Makes me very sad.
That makes me a happy panda.
So the dust has settled, and that Sanguinary Guard is now a mindless zombie. It's like The Walking Dead all over again. I made the decision to pull the Power Fist away, and he's making lots of funny noises. But
It's a power fist costs like 100 points.
Yeah,
Why do
but-
you keep the fist in there?
I don't know. They've always been rubbish for me hitting on 4s.
No.
So I'm gonna remove it and just go against what he says, and maybe I'll regret that later, and maybe you can all scream at me in the comments below. Anyway,
I'm going to select that unit. He piles in 3 inches. He fights. He hits on a 3. And he's strength 4, toughness. He'll wound on that. That's a wound on your sanguinary.
I'm not using your dice again. There we go. See, that's why.
Right, and there's my champion. He's got a power fist, which you'll notice I didn't pull away the champion when
no, you
I
didn't,
was
no.
taking casualties. Because fists work. He hits. You watch this. He hits on 4s. See, that's what fists do.
Chaos Fists work.
Chaos fists.
Don't
work.
forget that 6 is a death to the false emperor.
It's not, because it's -1 to hit. So you
Oh, really?
roll the dice, and then it's -1 to hit. So the fists never get death to the false.
Is it not unmodified? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So they both hit. And I'm strength 8 now. You're toughness 4. So I'm wounding on 2s. And I get 2 wounds at -3 AP. Do you have an invulnerable save?
I don't.
But they're so shiny and golden, they should have an invulnerable save.
So 5 up saves.
Okay. Oh,
like that.
That was beautiful.
Fists don't do much, you see.
The Emperor protects.
The Emperor protects.
I'm going to select this unit of Poxwalkers and pile in. This might take some time.
Yeah, I'm going to pause whilst he piles in. So 5 of the Poxwalkers have made it into combat after piling in.
Right, these guys do hit on 4s because it's more than 10. I guess it's the number of weapons and the number they don't have Death to the False Emperor Poxwalkers, so that was only 4 hits.
Okay.
Drag you down with my zombie claws. I need 5s, and I get 1. Just 1. You can use my dice.
I would rather not because of that.
That's the end of the fight phase.
Okay, so we have some morale to do.
Yes, they lost 5. I'm leadership 8. So if I roll... See, this is a because I want to keep them locked up in combat as well. If I keep everyone locked up in combat, at least you're not assaulting me with something else next. Mind you, are assaulting me with something else. There's Death Company in there. I'm going to need a think. Let's have a cup of tea.
He needs to think. And a cup of tea. Of course he needs a cup of tea. Okay, and with a fresh cup of tea, he's decided what he's going to do. I'm
going to spend the 2 command points. You see, I was thinking about not spending the 2 command points because they're dead anyway, right? Because there's another unit, a chunky... How many is there? 10 Death
There's
Company?
10 Death Company Marines, Mephista, a Chaplain, and 5 Tactical Marines in there.
They're about to smash into them anyway and destroy them utterly. However, you haven't got First Blood.
I haven't.
So if I spend 2 command points, puts us both on 4 each, then I deny you First Blood, and potentially I can get that point myself. It's a free point, so I'm spending the 2 command points. Insane bravery. The Plague Marines know no fear. No, 1 minute. They don't know any fear.
They used to know no fear.
They used to know no fear. Now they know sometimes some fear, but they're standing firm anyway against those Sanguinary Guard. Maybe they saw one turn into a Poxwalker and they thought, hooray.
They do not know fear. Papa Nurgle is protecting their minds. Right, so that will then be the end of the Blood Angel's first turn. Relatively successful. I'm quite happy with it, although I did expect to get First Blood. I thought that bloke drone, when I made the decision to smash it with 4 last cannons and 2 multi-motors, would be dead.
Yeah, that was disappointing.
And I did kind of think that the Sanguinary Guard would probably wipe out the remaining Plague Marines. There's 2 left, I think, isn't there? So that's relatively disappointing.
We're resilient.
They are, disgustingly so. However, we have managed to secure Objective 3 over here with this Death Company Dreadnought for a single victory point, and we managed to master the warp with the Librarian Dreadnought here for a second victory point. So it's currently 2 points to 0 to the Blood Angels at the end of Blood Angels turn 1. We're now going to move into Death Company. Death Company? I did it. You said you would do it, and I did it. So we're now going to move into the end of all things turn 1. That makes more sense. It's easier that way. So, just to give you some information, we've just had a quick chat at the end of Blood Angels Turn 1, and Mr. Winters has decided in his infinite wisdom that he wants to film his own turns, and I think that's a great idea. So what we're going to do from now on is Moarhammer turns will be filmed by me from Moarhammer, and Winters turns will be filmed by Winters. So the audio will be different because he doesn't use fancy microphones, the visual will be different because he doesn't use fancy gimbals, but he's going to film his own turns.
I'm distinctly low-tech.
Yeah, that's fine. I think it's a really cool idea that in future when we get together, you film you, I film me. That sounds like a great idea. Anyway, like I said, we'll move into the end of all things, turn 1.
Here are the orders for the end of all things. Scour the skies, take out that Storm Eagle. In 1 turn, virtually impossible. Supremacy, get any 3 objectives for D3 points, and... I think the Blood Angels are on like 5 objectives right now, so that's going to be nigh on impossible. In advance, out of my deployment zone, well, as I'm locked up in close combat, that's probably not going to happen either. So these are tough orders from the grandfather there. Here we are after the movement phase for the end of all things. I haven't advanced outside of my deployment zone, haven't moved this Plague Burst Crawler, for example, because as soon as it moves, it's hitting on 5s. And if I want to shoot the flyer, and I do, because I scour the skies, I'll be hitting on 6s. So it stays still. We are not advancing. However, looking at supremacy, now there's an objective here which my troops control. You need to kill them all down to a man, and Poxwalkers are mindless, so long as one of them is still on there at the end of this turn, there's one objective. Fetid bloke drone on another objective, and there are 2 in the castle back here, or 2 in the ruins back here. So I want 3 objectives for supremacy. So in the shadows down there underneath that ruin, is a big unit of 7 Terminators. There's a big unit of 7 Blight Lord Terminators there. And they will shoot and try and charge these scouts, which are holding on to an objective. Here are the other 7 Terminators, which is going to shoot and try and charge that Death Company Dreadnought, which might be a bad idea. But basically, There's 2 charges getting in there, and they should outnumber once we get in. 2 chances of rolling 9s and ending up on 3 objectives and getting supremacy. And there's how many Death Company inside that floaty thingy in there?
10 Death Company.
10 Death
5
Company.
Tactical Marines, 1 Chaplain, and Mephiston.
Is there? Okay, so this thing is loaded for bear. And by putting 14 Terminators over there, it gives Liam some choices. Does he... It makes him think. He doesn't like thinking. Does he still continue to try and wreck my castle and go through my Warlord, who I've tucked in there, the green one? That's my Warlord. Does he still continue to try and wreck the castle, which, let's face it, is just Poxwalkers, but it is protecting my Warlord? Or does he send the Storm Eagle over there to deal with 14 Blight Lord Terminators? Interesting choice. Warlord's worth a point, you see. If he moves, then he's not jumping out this turn. Or he might jump out with some of those units. I don't know. I don't want to know inside your brain.
I don't know. I don't know.
So those are some options. And Scour the Skies, try and take down this Storm Eagle gunship. I don't think I can take it down in one turn. But if I can dent it and reduce its firepower, that would be great. Mind you, it didn't do much damage to the Fetid Bloke drone last turn. Maybe I could dent it even more so it does even less damage. So in turn 1, the end of all things have already been pushed right back into our deployment zone. We sprung this trap on this Blood Angel's force, but it looks like the hunter has become the hunted. Let's go on to the psychic phase. Starting off with the Warlord, casting Miasma of Pestilence on this big unit of Poxwalkers. That's screening him. I need a 6, and that fails. And now I'm going to cast Smite. He's got the Corrupted Staff, so I'll +1 to a Smite roll, and I am within 7 inches of the golden dudes. And that's basically that's an 8. So your Librarian, you need an 8 to deny. It would be a 9, but with Psychic Courage you need an 8. Don't deny me. You deny me. Shutting down the psychic powers there. He is certainly mastering the warp. So Miasma of Pestilence in there. So second in command down there, Putrescent Vitality on the unit of Poxwalkers. It will get their strength and toughness up to 6. It gets their strength and toughness up to 6. And the second in command is more than 7 inches away from the golden dudes. So Pestilential Fallout will not kick in. And now I'm going to smite the golden dudes. And that passes. D3 mortal wounds on these. They have 2 wounds each, right?
Yes, they do.
Okay, looking for a 3. And that's a 6. So one of them dies, head goes boom, and one of them takes a wound. So one of the Noble Astartes dies. Right, onto the Fetid Bloke drone. I am auto-hitting this flyer because I've got Plague Spewers. They auto-hit how many times? And they auto-hit 10 times. Storm Eagle is toughness 7. The Fetid Bloke drone is strength 5 right now. Strength user because he's a bit poorly. Let's see how much filth gets sucked up into those air intakes. So I need 5s and I re-roll 1s because it's a plague weapon. In the end I only get 3, but it is -1 AP, so 3/4 up saves on the Eagle. And it takes 2 damage. Nice. We'll keep rolling. I'm going to fire the 2 entropy cannons. So fire everything from this guy. Everything. Up at the Storm Eagle. Now you're hard to hit. So I'm hitting on 5s with the entropy cannons, but these could sting. And I miss, because these are AP -4. They burn straight through your armour and do D6 damage. Yeah, okay, never mind. Let's fire the Heavy Slugger. 5s, 1 hit. It's strength 5. I need another 5. Doesn't wound. This isn't going well. And the Plague Burst Mortar. D6 shots as you're flying through this iron sky, falling around you. And 3. These still need 5s, this mortar shell. Everything misses. The Plague Burst Mortar fires wide, or rather, the Storm Eagle pilot dodges left and right. It's a perfect pilot, right? That's what you want.
Of course he's a perfect pilot.
So 14 wounds to get through on that Storm Eagle. That's not enough gun. Right, let's move over to this unit of Blight Lord Terminators. I'm going to fire everything at the Dreadnought. I need to weaken it before I go wheeling in. In this squad, there's a Melter. And then a Blight launcher. So the Melter isn't in Melter range, but let's do that. Combi Melter. Do I fire both parts? No, let's just fire the Melter part because otherwise it'd be hitting on 4s. So instead I'm hitting on 3s and a miss. And do the Blight launcher, hitting on 3s. It's an Assault 2 weaponry. They both hit. Strength 6, Toughness 7. So I need 5s. I get 1 wound at -2 AP on your Death Company Dread. So where are you rolling up? Over here? Cool. And you failed to save. This does D3 damage. 3 damage. And doesn't he ignore wounds, Death Company? I think on 6s or something because they're very, very angry. Yep, Black Rage kicks in. Ignore wounds on a 6. Oh, look at that. He ignores 2 of them. He's angry.
He's really angry.
Dreadnought has 7 wounds left. Right, there's 4 combi bolters firing in. Rapid fire 2. So this is a lot of shots. Hitting on 3s. The hard bit, though, will be wounding on 5s. That was 9 hits. Wounded on 5s. 1 more wound. Just 1. 3-up save on the Dreadnought. And he makes it. And he take 1 damage off of him. Sigh. Right. Liam is now Sad Panda because I told him there's 4 combi plasma in this squad here. I'm going to fire both this time, but I am not overcharging. The 4 combi plasma and the Blight launcher will go into the Death Company Dread. And then all the small arms up at their scouts. They have a 2-up save. They've got camo cloaks, right?
They do.
And they're in a ruin, so they're going to get a 2-up save. But I don't want them all dead anyway because I want to charge them.
You're not overcharging.
Not overcharging because...
It's a Death Guard weapon.
Yeah, but it's -1 to hit because I'm using both the combi version and the normal version. So I'll get hot on a 1-2. And if I get hot on a 1-2, I kill myself. So not overcharging, firing at him. This is hitting on... Not overcharging, I've got 4, 1 minute. The other thing about it is you rapid fire at 18-inch range with... fire at 18-inch range with Death Company. Death Company? See, I'm doing it. Death Guard with Death Guard. 4 combi plasmas. This is the plasma part. Hitting on 4s against that Dreadnought. That's okay. That's okay. I'm surprised. I hit 5 times. Strength 7, toughness 7. I need 4s to wound. I get 3 wounds at -3, so 3 6-up saves. You can use my dice if you want. Touch my dice.
No, 3 6-ups followed by 6-ups?
Yeah, 6-ups.
No.
Fail them all. And 6-up Black Rage.
1.
Make 1. He takes 2 more damage. He's down to 5 left. Did I do the Blight launcher? I didn't.
You didn't.
Here's the Blight launcher. Both hit. Strength 6, toughness 7. 1 wound at -2 AP this time.
So
5-up save. No, he fails that. This will do D3 damage. He's got 5 left. That's 2 more damage. You ignore wounds on a 6.
No.
You don't ignore any of them. It's down to 3 left.
He's really angry.
He is really angry. Right, let's fire all the bolt guns, the other stuff up at him. Okay, then the unit fired its combi bolters and all the bolt gun shells up at these scouts here, hitting on 4s with most of the shots, wounding on 4s. I've got 6 wounds? 6 wounds. You have 6 2-up saves to make, sir, to keep them alive. So it's a +2 to their save because of camo cooks.
Fail. No, I don't.
And you pass every single... Oh, 1. 1 of the noble scouts dies. And 1 of them's on the bottom floor, right? Oops. And Liam just took away the 1 on the bottom floor, making that 9-inch charge into a 12-inch charge, which is highly annoying. However, when I dropped them down, I made sure they were 9 inches from the Dreadnought, both units. So I think what I'll do is charge the Dreadnought with 14 Terminators. That will make me feel a lot better. And that's the end of the shooting phase for the end of all things. We've tickled a Storm Eagle, tickled a Dreadnought, killed a Scout. Not very good. Now we need to charge in. So we'll do the Overwatch off camera in a minute. Let's see if this unit of Terminators can make it in on that Dreadnought. Remember, if I make this charge, that'll be D3 points for supremacy. Haven't killed anything yet, and I'm looking for first blood as well.
We'll fail the charge. We'll fail the charge. See?
They failed. Right, the second unit back there, charging the Dreadnought, needs a 9. Do I command point? I need a 6. I need a 6. I need a 6, so I didn't get first blood. I didn't make any of my charges. I didn't get supremacy. I'm not scouring the skies. Yeah, that happened. Right. Right, then we did the Overwatch. The Flamer was out of range. Kept Overwatch twice. Actually hit one of the units, but 2-up Cataphracti Terminator safe, holding firm. Now we're on to the Assault phase. I don't think you're going to pay any points to interrupt because you've only got 4 left and they are only Poxwalkers. But let's start off with the Plague Marines.
Oh.
And do I want to spend a point on Veterans of the Long War? There's only 2 of them. No, I don't. Plague Marine number 1 with his Plague Knife hits on a 3 and he'll wound on a 4. Doesn't wound. And then the Power Fist, which you must always keep in your pocket.
No.
Yes, Power Fist will strike you. I will fist you. And I hit once. and I will wound on 2.
That's
it
why we
doesn't
don't
wound.
worry about power fists, Mr.
Right.
Winters.
Command point. It wounds you.
It does.
It does. You need a 5-up save, right? It's minus 3 AP. Stop that. I just... Okay, so you survive the fisting. Now it's Liam's turn to select a unit. Selected the Dreadnought. The quickening is still in effect, right?
Yeah, so I roll D3 additional attacks.
Yeah, okay.
Or 3. Oh,
Okay, so that's 5 total, right?
Yeah.
And he's a Libby, so Libby's hit on 2s because they're HQs, they know how to punch. 2s to hit, 3 hits, maybe he doesn't. 2s to wound against Poxwalkers because you're only engaged with the Poxwalkers.
So 3 wounds.
3
all
wounds.
3 damage each.
Okay, so disgustingly resilient. The first one, no. Second one, no. Third one, no. You kill 3 Poxwalkers. And again, 3 Poxwalkers, taking them from the back here because I don't want to take these away. Because if I take these away, then Liam will choose not to consolidate in, and then his turn, he can move on and rush off and charge and punch some other stuff. So it's very important to keep this Libby locked up. Right, let's move on to this unit of Poxwalkers because they've got putrescent vitality on them. They are strength 4. So let's pile in. After the Poxwalkers pile in, I've got 8 that can fight. So this is 16 attacks. I'm hitting on 4s and I spent a point. Another command point on Veterans of the Long War. So you can spend more than one stratagem a turn so long as it's not the same stratagem. They're strength 4 right now, which means it'll be +1 to wounding. And one of these dudes is down to 1 wound left, the Sanguinary Guard. So if I kill one, I add a Poxwalker to my pile. Anyway, I'm hitting on 4s. But they don't have Veterans... No, sorry, they don't have Death to the False Emperor. And out of my 16 attacks, I got 5 hits hitting on 4s. What did you say?
I said they are mindless zombies. They're like the population of Swindon.
I've heard about that place. I wound on 3s now with Veterans. At least all of them wound. 5 wounds. If you make 1-1, you lose a dude.
Ta-da! Ah.
You make 2 1s. One of your Sanguinary Guard dies, and I had a Poxwalker. And with Curse of the Walking Pox, put a Poxwalker right at the back here, helping to screen my HQs. Right, now we're onto the Sanguinary Guard, and you've only got 2 left now.
I did, yeah, thanks for reminding me.
You should have punched with them first.
So
Now, you can put your attacks on the Poxwalkers, or on the Plague Marines, but I would hit those Plague Marines.
yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah, you are.
Sword first.
Sword.
2 attacks. Both hit.
Both hit.
Strength 4. Didn't charge this turn,
No.
so now I'm only winning on 5s.
Yes.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Axe. 2 attacks. 1 hit.
1 hit.
And he's strength 5, so 4s. He wounds.
Does wound.
Minus 2 AP.
-2, so I need a 5-up, which I fail.
D3 damage.
Does it really?
1.
1
Okay.
damage. 1 disgustingly resilient. And 1 of my... It's the Blight Lord guy. He
Keeping
dies.
the fist, really.
I'm keeping the fist. Only a fool would take away the power fist. Now it's the end of Death Guard turn 1. The line holds firm for now. Before all the chocolates spill out of this flying chocolate box here. The line holds firm for now, and the Blight Lord Terminators are in with a bang. Preparing to threaten, preparing to rampage through the Blood Angels' back lines. However, I don't get any points. I don't scour the skies or get supremacy or advance, and first blood is still up for grabs. So let's go on to Blood Angels, turn 2.
So in Blood Angels turn 2, the chaplain has found the enemy warlord. He has issued his orders. He has spoken with Chief Librarian Mephista. They know what they must do. The Blood Angels are still to defend Objective 4, but in addition we must hunt the witch and carry out a decapitating strike. Surely if we cut the head from the snake, this our enemy army will no longer have any direction. He has told us to pick an enemy character, and that's the one we must kill with a Blood Angels unit in this turn. So, what have we done? You'll notice the Storm Eagle is no longer in the centre of the board. Obviously, being a flyer, it had to fly off. It dropped 5 tactical marines on Objective 4. We have now started to defend Objective 4. It then dropped 10 Death Company, plus the Chaplain, plus Chief Librarian Mephista in the middle of the enemy lines. The Death Company do not know any fear. They will attack this horde of zombies. They will try and cut the head from the snake.
Death Company Dreadnought is down to 3 wounds. He is on his final mission. The veteran is pushed forward to take on the Blight Lord Terminators, and the Storm Eagle flying above will lay down some fire to give the Dreadnought some cover as he makes his way into combat. The Bile Predator stayed still. That means that with his heavy weapons he's now hitting on 3s this turn, and those Tactical Marines are still there hoping that Objective 5 comes up. Additionally, the Scouts haven't moved. They're still sat over there in the tower. I fear that this may be the end of their days, with the end of all things in this room below them. But let's try and take some pot shots first before they die. Finally, we have pulled the Sanguinary Guard and the Librarian Dreadnought out of combat down here. It may seem cowardly, but it's perfect Space Marine tactics. The fly keyword means that these two can fall back and still shoot with their Angelus bolt guns. The Librarian Dreadnought can cast Smite. What it does mean is it opens this Poxwalker blob plus Plague Marine plus other Poxwalker blob up to firepower from the rest of the Blood Angels army in an attempt to try and wreck this horde of zombies early. So that's what we've done. That's what we're hoping to achieve. So let's move into the Blood Angels psychic phase. Right, so we're going to start with the Librarian Dreadnought. He's pulled away from the Poxwalkers and now he's going to cast Smite to try and take some of them down. He gets that on 7. You do have people within 24 inches. Would you like to deny?
No, I'm going to deny Mephista.
So, D3 mortal wounds for 3 mortal wounds.
Ignore him on 5s. He kills 2.
2 Poxwalkers are blown away from the psychic blast from the Librarian Dreadnought. Now Mephista. The first thing he's going to do is unleash rage on the Death Company. Warp charge value of 6. Which he gets with a 10.
Let's try to deny it. I need an 11. I don't deny it.
Nope, so that means the Death Company have an additional attack per model. And finally, Wings of Sanguinis. We really need this. On an 8.
And I really need to deny that. I need a 9.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't deny it.
He doesn't deny on a 4. You're not going to try and command point that 1 to a 6?
No.
Cool, perfect. He has the Wings of Sanguinis. You can probably see what's coming from him. Cutting the head from the snake. As I've said, the enemy warlord is in there. Mephista can now leap over that horde of marauding zombies and attack the enemy warlord. We'll move into the Blood Angels shooting phase. So with the Wings of Sanguinis resolved, Mephista has landed next to the enemy warlord. He knows what his job is. He knows what his target is. He's here to kill that Malignant Plaguecaster. Right, we're going to move on to the shooting phase now. I think we will start with the Bile Predator. So the Bile Predator over here is going to open up with all of his weapons onto this unit of 5. 4 Poxwalkers. I didn't realise I'd killed so many. So first, the twin assault cannon hitting on 3s now.
That was a bit better.
That was much better. It wasn't as good as I first thought. A total of 7 hits. Winning on 3s.
Winning on 2s.
Winning on 2s. Of course, yeah.
7 wounds.
So 7 wounds.
7 disgustingly resilience. And 4 fail, so 4 are dead. First blood.
First blood to the Blood Angels. The heavy bolters make sure those carcasses are turned to absolute mulch. Those Poxwalkers will not rise again. And we'll move on to these 2 Sanguinary Guard. Because they have a fly keyword, they're able to fall out of combat and still shoot. And they're going to try and take out this final Plague Marine with their Angelus bolt guns. So 2 assault 2, hitting on 3s. Missing with 3. Strength 4, toughness 5 is a 5 to wound. Nope,
Ooh.
Nothing. So this tactical squad digging in around this objective are going to back up those Sanguinary Guard and try and take out this final Plague Marine. So 6 bolt gun shots are in rapid fire range, hitting on 3s. That is 4 hits. Wounding on 5s. For 2 wounds.
2 straight-up saves. And I make it.
He survives. That Plague Marine is just not going down.
Mephista could shoot him.
Mephista could shoot him. We'll have a think about that in a minute. What we're going to do now is move on to the Death Company. Their 10 bolt guns are going to open up onto these Plague Marines. Plague Marines, Poxwalkers, right in front of them. I'll come back with you with 20 bolt gun shots. So this Death Company blob here will open up on the Poxwalkers. 20 bolt gun shots, hitting on 3s.
Ouch.
14 hits and being toughness 3, we are wounding on 3s.
7, 5 up disgustingly resilience to make, and I make 4 of them.
3, you make 3 of them.
3 of them.
It's like 4, but 1 less. So that's 4 more Poxwalkers turned into dust. Next, the Death Company Dreadnought's going to open up, spewing Promethium into these Terminators and unloading with his Stormbolter. So first we'll do the Heavy Flamer for D6. 1, auto hit at Strength 5, Toughness 5, so force to wound. It doesn't wound. Stormbolter fire came raining in and bounced off the Cataphractii armour. Next, Mephiston, who's down here, is going to unload his plasma pistol into this one Plague Marine. I've told you power fists are useless, and I'm trying to prove a point. So he hits on 2s, and he hits. He's strength 7, so he wounds on 3s. And he wounds -3 AP.
6 up.
And
5
1
up,
damage.
disgustingly resilient. That's dead.
Are you sure? I'll call it cocked if you want.
It's cocked. That's dead.
He's definitely dead, Dave. So that Plague Marine is finally blown away by Mephiston's plasma pistol. Okay, and moving on, the scouts are going to try and cover Mephiston's advance as they fire into the second in command down here with their 4 sniper rifles hitting on 3s.
Nice.
All 4 hit.
Winning on 5s now.
Winning on 5s, but 6 is a mortal wounds. There is 1 wound from the scouts.
1 3 up. No.
Nope. So the second command is unscathed, and he could heroically intervene in a minute. However, we will now move on to the Storm Eagle gunship to try and lay some covering fire down for the Death Company Dreadnought. It's going to unload everything it has into those 7 Terminators. Yeah. So first of all, we're going to fire and open up with 2 multi-melter shots. 1 hits, 1 misses. They're strength 8, so they win on 3s. 1 wounds.
4 up and 1. Cataphractii. Yes.
Survive. So there's 4 last cannon shots. Hit on 3s. They hit on 3s obviously because of Power of the Machine Spirit. Strength 9, wounding on 3s. That's 4 wounds at -3 AP.
It's not going to scratch. We've walked this battle for 1,000 years. And we make every save.
That's unbelievable. I don't know where you pulled those dice from.
Since the Fields of Istvan 3, we know how to kill Imperial.
So the Vengeance launcher, which let me down so badly last time, 2d6 shots for a total of 9 shots.
Far from the sky.
So that's 9 shots hitting on 3s.
Nice. 8 hits. Strength.
8 hits at strength 5 means it wounds on 4s.
Okay, I'll grab them. That was 4 wounds, right?
4 wounds.
-1.
-1 AP.
We have walked this battle for 1,000 years. And we failed 2 saves. 2 5 up, disgustingly resilient. 1 takes a wound.
That's silly.
It's not dead.
So I was quite excited to use this Storm Eagle gunship, having never fielded one before.
And you take 1 wound off a Terminator.
Yeah, that was probably less successful than last turn. Interesting. Right, okay. I think that's my shooting phase complete. So it looks like we're now going to move into the Blood Angels Assault phase.
This could be painful.
I'm hoping it's painful. So now we move into the charge phase. Mephiston's going to charge the enemy warlord and attempt to get that decapitating strike. 2d6. He's
angry.
He's really angry. We already did the Overwatch for that, and he failed to hit. These Death Company Marines here are going to charge the Poxwalkers. We're going to avoid this bloat drone. I'm aware that means he probably can take out those those tactical Marines there in the next turn, but I don't really want to suffer some auto hit Overwatch.
They've got no Overwatch, but they can rip off their arms and throw them at you.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll roll for some thrown limbs in a minute. They're going to get a 4-inch charge. That should be plenty with their consolidating move as well to get most of them, if not all of them in.
Is this the chaplain?
Chaplain's back here. Yeah.
Okay.
He'll be okay.
Is he getting in? Or are you going to leave him in the open so I can shoot him?
I've just literally thought about that. Yeah, I'll probably have to charge him as well. So the chaplain's going to try and make it in.
He's got to dodge some arms. Throw some arms at him. Ooh, chaplain sat in the open.
Command point.
Chaplain sat in the open.
Chaplain sat in the open, and 1 less command point. And then finally, this Death Company Dreadnought is going to charge in. We haven't rolled the Overwatch on this yet, because this could be interesting. So I think we should probably do that on camera, Mr. Winters. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do that.
Right, so we've grabbed some dice. We are ready to fire the Overwatch into the Death Company Dreadnought. What we got first?
He's only got 3 wounds left.
He has only got 3 wounds left. I'm confident.
6 is dead. These are all the combi bolters. And that's 5 hits.
There's 5 hits, but they are only combi bolters.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're winning on 5s.
5s. And I did 2 wounds.
That's not too bad, because there's still a melter. I know I can. 2 3-up saves.
Ooh, 6 up ignores it.
A 6 up does ignore it.
No.
Nope, so he suffers a wound, which gives him 2 remaining. That might not make any difference.
Blight launcher.
Yeah, okay.
1 hit the floor. No. And now
And then the melter gun.
You're scared of the melter.
Single dice, surely.
Yeah, 1 dice. Yeah. Oh. Do I want to come out? No.
So he will be making it into combat, hopefully, with 2 wounds remaining.
You then
6-inch charge. So we're okay with that. We're going to charge him in right now, and then we'll get on to the fight bay. Oh, he's done it for me. Look, just pushed him straight in. No fear. No fear at all. Okay, so lots of thinking just happened. So my head now hurts. I wasn't sure what to do because he has 2 command points left, which means he can interrupt. My first thought was fight with the Death Company Dreadnought first, because if he interrupts and uses the Terminators, that Dreadnought's probably dead. And I thought that was probably the wiser move because I could probably kill some Terminators. And then I realised his Warlord is in combat with Mephista, and Mephista could earn me lots of points with Decapitated Strike, Witch Hunter, and Slay the Warlord. So although I think that if he interrupts me, he will kill that Dreadnought, I think it's more important that I kill his Warlord first, or at least try to. So we're going to fight with Mephista first. So, over here in this little tight melee, we have 4 attacks from Mephista, the Lord of Death, hitting on 2s. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
We're going to spend a command point.
Really?
Yeah.
Down to 1.
Oh, actually, I can't, can I?
Oh, no, this is now the fight phase. So, yes, you can. This is a different phase.
Sure.
Yes.
So that's 3 hits
Yes.
from Mephista.
How strong is he?
He's strength 10.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He's a bit of a beefcake.
He always makes me question myself. Yeah, he's strength 10, which means he wounds on 2s because you're toughness 5, being Death Guard.
Yes.
3 wounds,
What's the AP?
minus lots.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it more than 3?
So it's essentially a beefed up power sword at AP minus 3.
So I need 6s, right?
You
You've
need
got
6s.
4 wounds to get through, but 6s, and I fail all of them, and this does 3d3 damage?
3d3, come on.
This is worth a lot of points. Oh no.
That is 7 wounds from Mephisto's Sanguine Sword. 7 disgustingly resilient saves.
4 to get through.
You have been known to do this before, Mr. Winters, with your dice
Yeah, but
rolls.
never when I need to.
Let's see what happens.
And this is worth like 28 points to you.
It's
so
worth lots of
5
points.
ups. He's dead.
He is dead.
Slay the Warlord.
Slay the Warlord. Witch Hunter for us, victory point, and Decapitating Strike.
Brutal.
The dust settles. Mephista has killed that enemy Warlord, cut his head clean from his shoulders. We'll consolidate him in a minute. We're going to move on to some more fighting. First of all, I want to ask you, and I probably shouldn't. I should probably just ignore it, pretend nothing's happened. Do you wish to interrupt with your final 2 command points?
No.
You don't?
No.
Right, sweet. So
I
I'm
can
going to
take it. I've done 1,000 years this long march. We can take a Death Company Dread. He's but a child to us.
He does, however, have 5 attacks
Does he?
as a child.
Okay. What does he hit on?
A total of 4 hits from its 5 dice. He is strength good. He's strength 10 now with his talons.
Is he?
Yeah, which means it's 2s to wound, and because he's got blood talons, he rerolls failed to wound. So 2s to wound. All 4 wound. So you have your 4-up cataphracti invulnerable saving things.
4 up. Maybe I should have paid to interrupt.
A total of 3 failed cataphracti invulnerable saves.
So 3 disgustingly resilience on the first guy. He's dead. 3 disgustingly resilience on the second guy. He's dead. And 3 disgustingly resilience on the last guy. He's alive.
He is
Oh, one wound.
alive with a wound remaining.
You killed like 2 Terminators, only 2.
Oh, hang on.
Well,
Didn't we already take a wound off with the Storm
yeah,
Eagle?
but the original 3 just kills 1. Wounds don't spill over.
Oh.
And then the next one kills 1.
Oh,
Yeah, so
that's
it just
rubbish.
kills 2.
Yeah, okay, cool.
That's
So 2
rules.
are dead.
That's how it works.
1, yeah, I'm sure you're not cheating at all. It's not your way. So 2 are dead, 1 is down to a single wound. Actually, I'll be honest with you, it's probably a little bit better than I expected.
That one? That one.
Finally, we're going to move on to the Death Company, taking on the Poxwalkers. I'll be honest with you, there is 40 dice here, so we're going to roll these off camera. So we had 40 attacks. Just to explain, we had 2 attacks base, +1 for a chainsword and +1 for the psychic power, Unleash Rage from Mephista. Hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s. We have totaled 33 wounds on the Poxwalkers.
I'm re-rolling the hit because of him.
Oh, of course, yeah, the chaplain allows him to reroll to hits before he gets murdinated by that drone.
Yeah.
So we have 33 5-up disgusting resilient saves.
And there's 10 Poxwalkers left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, you killed lots.
It wasn't
like 20 odd.
It wasn't a bad attempt though. There was a lot of 5s and 6s in there.
Everyone's dead.
So they have been slaughtered. The Poxwalkers have gone. The zombie infestation has been annihilated.
More importantly, the Death Company are covered in goo now and smell.
Yeah, that's what's important, is that the Death Company now smell. Okay, so although it's not the end of the fight phase, because the Blight Lord Terminators have got to charge, I was making some decisions about consolidation, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. So, Mephisto's definitely not going to consolidate into the second in command. Why? He's already attacked. The second in command can then attack me back. He has a corrupted staff, strength 6, D3 wounds apiece. He could kill Mephisto, and I don't want that. Although I know he could smite and charge him next phase anyway. If I charge him, I'm giving him a free round of attack, so we're not going to do that. I then thought about the Death Company consolidating into the Bloke drone to try and stop him from shooting at the chaplain. The Bloke drone's got the fly keyword. He could fly out of combat, just land over here somewhere or over here somewhere. The chaplain would still be the nearest, and he'd still get to shoot because of the fly keyword. So what I would be doing then again is giving him a free round of attacks. So we're not going to do that. We're going to leave them there and let him make his decisions as to what he shoots at with that Bloke drone.
And when you consolidate, you have to go to the closest enemy unit anyway, and you're right next to that Bloke drone. So
yeah, so we're going to leave it for now, and we're going to move on to the Blight Lord Terminators over here, attacking this Death Company Dreadnought and completely whiffing.
No, don't say that. Let's do the Flare of Corruption. He has D3 attacks each, so they have 2 attacks, so that's 4 attacks with his flail. And he hits on 3s, and with Death to the False Emperor, that explodes for another hit. So that's 3 hits with the flare, and it's strength 6. 1 wound at -2 AP, 2 damage, he's got 2 wounds left. If you fail to save, he's dead. He's dead! Oh no, you ignore wounds on a 6, because he's a Death Company thing. He's dead. Don't blow up.
This is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to blow up.
You didn't blow up.
I didn't blow up. But he is now dead. He is a smouldering wreck. Those Blight Lord Terminators have broken free, but I did kill a few.
See, the interesting thing for me as well is I'd love to consolidate that way, but this is the closest enemy model, this Storm Eagle, so I have to, if I'm going to consolidate, I have to end up closer to the Storm Eagle. So I will consolidate a little bit, 3 inches. That gets him close to the Storm Eagle. That gets him close to the Storm Eagle and pulls me forward a little bit.
So you've got to consolidate towards the Storm Eagle, even though
I've moved to the closest enemy unit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But managed to.
So even though you can't fight it, you have to
yeah,
consolidate towards it.
Yeah, consolidation's always towards the closest enemy model.
Interesting. Okay, so that is the end of the Blood Angels fight phase. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. The chaplain's orders barked across the Vox have mostly been achieved. We have hunted the witch. The warlord is dead. We have taken the head from the snake. Again, the warlord is dead. The only one we haven't achieved is defend objective 4, and we have started to. Which does leave that Bloke drum with some interesting choices, because he could take out the chaplain, or he could kill those marines and stop me from defending objective 4. Now, when you add these 3 points to the 2 that I'd already scored, that puts the Blood Angels on 5 points to 0. So actually, it's quite a tough choice for that Bloke drone. But of course, his Plague Burst Crawler is still at full health and could bombard those Blood Angels off that objective. And the Terminators aren't doing all that badly. I did kill a couple, which was more than I expected, but that still means there is 12 Death Guard Blight Lord Terminators over there on that flank. Which is interesting. The Death Guard definitely aren't out of this. The End of All Things are going to have their turn too, and hopefully pull themselves back into this fight.
It's 6 points to 0. You got first blood as well. 6-0.
I know, yeah.
I know, I'm stinging.
But there's still a way back into this.
You've smashed my castle. You've broken it. You've destroyed it.
But there is, like I say, still 12 Terminators, still a full health Plague Burst Crawler, still 2 Bloke drones. I'd argue that your biggest damage outputs still remain. So there's definitely a chance here in this one. Let's move on to the...
So, you're saying there's a chance?
I think so.
You're saying there's a chance? Okay. Let's pull the trigger.
I mean, it does depend on the player, so it's up to you.
I'm going to pull the trigger. I think Mephiston's closest to that Blight Lord, that thing. No, the Dread. I think Mephiston's the closest thing to that tank.
Probably,
I'm going to measure up and find out.
Anyway, we're going to move on to the End of All Things turn 2, and let's see if Winters can claw his way back into this game.
I killed something. Here are the orders for the End of All Things. A ditch advance, there's no way I'm getting out of my deployment zone or moving that Plague Burst Mortar. I've got Scour the Skies still in my hand and Supremacy. I need to get 3 objectives for D3 points, and then I was very lucky. Got Symbol of the Fly Lord, which means if I have 3 objectives, no more, no less, I will get D3 points. So need to get D3 points for 2 D3. I need to get 3 objectives for D3 points, 3 objectives for D3 points, and get back in this game. And this is what it looks like. It means that this plague Fetid bloke drone couldn't move. It had to stay there on that objective. I would like to get it over here and start fragging some tactical marines, but it had to stay there. It meant these Terminators were just too far away to get onto that objective there, which would have been a good place for them to be, because then I could have shot at the chaplain. Instead, the bloke drone had to hop up and over, but I'm on that objective there. So that's 2 objectives. It also meant that I didn't charge with these Blightlord Terminators back here onto objective number 2 there. Instead, I had to run them. To make the charge, to get up to those scouts, because these Terminators can only move 4, it would have been an 8 or 9 inch charge, which isn't guaranteed. And instead I ran them and ran from there onto there. You half the run distance when you run with people in counterfractal Terminator armor. But I rolled a good dice. I think it was 4 or 5 or something. I'm easily within 3 inches of that objective. It means they're not shooting. The Blight launcher can shoot because it is an assault weapon, so I can shoot with that. But all their other guns, and they've got a lot of plasma. There's 4 combi plasma in there, aren't shooting. And they're not assaulting those scouts. But it does get me back in the game. D3 points for supremacy. D3 points for symbol of the Fly Lord. We have measured up. Liam's double checked. Mephista is closer to this Plague Burst mortar, big tank, than the Death Company. So I think he took out my Warlord. And
I'm okay with that though, because if you shoot that Plague Burst caller at Mephista,
yes,
you're not shooting at 5 tactical marines that are currently defending objective 4.
And I just suddenly remember while I was doing that narrative, he's not your Warlord anyway, is it? It's the Chaplain's your Warlord.
The Chaplain is my Warlord.
Heavy sigh. But my thoughts on it, if I can take out Mephista and the Death Company, if I can take those big nuggets out of the equation, then these guys are a bit out of position. You've got tactical marines and some shooting stuff in the backfield. These are the big assault heavy hitters here. If I take them out, then I clip your wings, I think. If I shoot at your chaplain and tactical marines, then, mind you, you are defending that objective. You are defending that objective. And that's a 2-point swing. I'm going to have to let it go. Let's move on to the psychic phase. I've got dice in my hand. I'm going to do it straight away. This Malignant Playcaster, casting Smite, it will hit Mephista. And that's a 6. Mephista needs a 6 to deny. Mephista does not deny. Unless you want to burn
a psychic hood.
Oh yeah, you do deny. +1 to deny rolls because of the psychic hood.
Yeah.
He should have. All Space Marines have psychic hoods. Let's check to see if he has. Yeah, Mephista's got a psychic hood. Right, Miasma of Pestilence on these guys. It'll be -1 to hit. I think these are the guys. And mind you, could put it over there. No, it's 18-inch range. Have to put it here. Miasma of Pestilence on them. That passes. That's a 12. That's a Perils. I do D3 mortal wounds to myself, which is 2, and I ignore them on 5-ups. And I ignore one of them. He takes a mortal wound. He's down to 3 left, and with Pestilential Fallout, it hits Mephista and does a mortal wound to Mephista.
Can I still deny it? With
If you get 12, yeah, you need to. Can he deny twice, Mephista?
Yes.
Can he?
Yes.
He's a beast, isn't he? That's so close and yet so far.
So yeah, he suffers some mortal wounds.
Yeah.
He has a 5-up save against mortal wounds.
Does he?
He has a 5-up save.
No. He
doesn't
takes a
get
wound.
it.
He's got a
I'm sure
headache.
he can take that against mortal wounds, but
He's
doesn't
got
get
a
it
headache.
anyway, so he's down.
Mephista drops a wound. Now onto the shooting phase. Now I made sure the Fetid bloke drone was in 9 inches of the Death Company because I thought about putting round after round after round, but I might hit them instead. I might hit the tactical marines. I might. But we are in 9-inch range of the tactical marines as well. So let's see how many Death Company we can kill with the Terminators first. So all the Terminators will fire all of their guns at them. It's 10 inches away. There's the Melter. He is in range. I'll fire all of the guns. Let's do the Melter first, which misses. Of course it does. Blight Launcher. That's the 1-hit, strength 6. Wounds, -2 AP.
Or a 5-up save.
Which you make, and D3 mortal, D3 wounds 3, so you need to make 3 6s because Death Company ignore wounds on 6s. And
Wait,
one
what?
of the Death Company dies, and now I need to count up the number of combi bolt shots. These combi bolts hitting on 4s, and these ones hitting on 3s. That one was there, and that number of hits, and now I need 4s to wound Death Company. I get 4 wounds. 4 wounds on Death Company, 4 3-up saves. And you failed 2 of them. You need 2 6s. Failed 2 of them. It's 3 Death Company fallen so far. Now this is the choice. Whether to hit the Death Company with the mortar and the Fetid Blotron, or whether to hit this tactical squad here. Now this could be game changing. If I hit the tactical squad, I might kill them all and stop you scoring 2 points for defending it, but it leaves the Death Company free. If I hit the Death Company, I give you 2 points, but I could potentially nerf that Death Company. And yeah, I think I have to hit the Death Company. I have to hit the Death Company. He's going to fire a pistol at them, my Malignant Paycaster, and he misses. Right, let's do the... And then there's Mephista there as well. Fetid Bloke Drone into the Death Company. Number of auto hits. 3. This is not going to plan. 3 auto hits. Strength 5 right now. Rerolling to wound because it's a plague weapon. 3 wounds at -1 on the Death Company. And they fail all 3. You need to make 3 6s. And you make 2 6s. So only 1 more falls. Right, the tank. Before we get to the tank, I have just measured up, and the Blight launcher, not Blight launcher, yeah, Blight launcher is in range to hit the Death Company from the unit of Terminators back there. It's an assault weapon, so I can move forward and fire it, and I ignore the penalty for moving and shooting assault weapons because I'm Death Guard. So I'm hitting on 3s. They both hit. I'm wounding on 3s because it's strength 6 toughness thingy bob. And I reroll 1s because it's a plague weapon, so I roll a 2. Right, 1 5-up save on your Death Company. Reroll that one. That's,
You sure?
well, from your angle it was a 4, from mine it was a 5. So that's a fail. There's D3 mortal wounds, or not mortal wounds, D3 wounds. You need 3 6s.
Like that? No, not
No, no. Kill 1 more Death Company. Okay, onto the tank. I have to fire at Mephista. This might only happen once. He's already taken a wound. So let's do the big... The mortar is a minimum range 12, I just suddenly remembered, so I need to stop and start measuring again. Yep, so it turns out the Death Company and Mephista are both within range of him. Why do you keep pointing at the scouts? I'm thinking about dropping the mortar on them.
No, you want to hit the scouts.
No, I'm going to drop the mortar on them.
Hit the scouts.
So the heavy stubber, the stubber is going to go into Mephista, the entropy cannon's into Mephista, and the mortar is going to fire over the heads of the Death Company because I can't hit them and hit these guys.
Not the scouts. Not
the scouts, no. So let's do the stubber. It's 4 shots, hitting Mephista. I do hit on 4s, and I get 1 hit. I wound, it's strength 5. You're toughness 5 though, right?
Yes.
And it wounds at -1, so your 2-up becomes a 3-up. And you pass it with that horrible Moarhammer symbol.
Horrible?
It's a lovely Moarhammer symbol. It's horrible right now because it stings a little bit, okay? Apart from you charging into me and letting me kill one of your Death Company Dreadnoughts, I haven't really killed anything of yours yet.
No, I have to give you something.
So, but thank you for all the tea. It's been lovely. 2 entropy cannons. Maybe the 2 entropy cannons can do it.
No.
They're strength 8. They're AP -4. They do
they
D6 damage each. 4s to hit. They both hit.
Uh-oh.
Now's the time. Strength 8. All I need is 3s. All I need is 2 3s. 2 5s at -4. He has a 2-up save, right?
Yep.
So you need 6s. Boxcars can save you.
Here comes that lovely Moor symbol.
Don't even think.
No, I
you
think
fail
he
both.
might be dead.
This does 2d6 damage. D6 damage each. How many wounds has he got left after he took that 1?
3 or 4.
Okay.
4, but Snake Eyes will do it.
How about 5? 5 damage?
Yeah, 5.
1 minute.
5 up
Command point.
saves.
Command point. I didn't know he has a 5-up ignore damage, does he?
Yes, he does.
Command point. Now, if this 2 re-rolls to a 1, I will rage quit. Yay! 8 wounds. 8 5-up saves to make to ignore this, or Mephista, the demon vampire himself, dies.
8 5-ups. Not a single one.
Not a single sausage.
He is definitely dead.
And that's not Slay the Warlord, that's Slay Mephista. A cheer goes up amongst the Death Guard. Well, actually, a gargled cough goes up amongst the Death Guard lines, watching that beast fall. Plague Burst Mortar, D6 shots, iron from the sky. 5 shots come raining in on that tactical squad. It will hit them on 4s. And that is 3 hits. It's strength 8, so I wound on 2s and a reroll because it's a plague weapon. Okay, so they all wounded. It's -2. I want to say -2. Roll the saves and then we'll double check. If it was -2, they're dead. Yeah, AP -2. D3 damage each. 3 of them fall, and that is the end of my shooting phase. Let's go straight into the charge phase because this is a 10-inch charge into these Death Company here. We'll do Overwatch off camera in a minute. But let's see if these Blight Lord Terminators' blood is up after taking out that Death Company Dreadnought. No, it's not. So the Blight Lord Terminators fail the charge, but don't take any wounds to Overwatch. And then the second in command, the last Malignant Playcaster, goes wheeling in to the Death Company as well. It may be suicidal, but I want to kill a couple more and first force the morale. I could potentially... No, I can't charge in with that. I need to sit on that objective. So I need to force the morale. So straight into the fight phase. I took no wounds to Overwatch. He only has 3 attacks. He hits on 3s with his Corrupted Staff. And that's 2 hits. I was looking for those 6s, because with 6s he will get extra attacks. Right, Corrupted Staff is strength +2. And I rolled 2 2s. So the Malignant Playcaster did no damage at all to the Death Company. And then what have we just discovered?
Yeah, I didn't do enough attacks. I mean, it didn't matter because it killed the Poxwalkers.
So 40 attacks weren't enough.
No, it should have been 50.
How many attacks was it? 2
So they have 2
each?
base.
And then they charge to
Plus
get another
one.
one.
Yeah, they get 1 for charging with a Black Rage.
Yeah.
Plus 1 for using chainswords because they have chainswords and bolt guns.
Yeah.
And then plus 1 because I put Unleash Rage on them.
5 attacks
Mephiston.
each. Did they? When I charge you, did they get that +1 attack?
No, not from the Black Rage.
So they're down to 4 now.
So they're down to 4 each. I only get 20 now from
20
these.
attacks from 5 guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
And you're re-rolling the hit because you're in range of your chaplain.
Yeah, so I hit on 3s.
I'm beginning to think this charge may have been a bad thing.
I definitely didn't try and coax you into it either, which is,
Definitely didn't.
that wasn't great, but it's okay because I have rerolls.
You didn't try and coax me into it. You said, charge with that guy. And I went, yeah, okay.
So I hit with what?
You didn't try at all.
19 hits.
19 hits.
Strength is 4.
Is it?
So we normally win on 5s. Not the Black Rage. The what's it called?
Red Fury, Red Thirst.
Yeah, the red. Yeah, that one.
So that works when I charge you as
yeah,
well.
so I win on 4s.
Okay. That was average. I'm saying that that's average. And maybe it's more than average. That's quite a lot. That's 10 wounds. 10 3-up saves. I've got 4 you got 4 to get through. 3-ups. And then disgustingly resilient. Look, I made 7 of them. Disgustingly resilient.
7.
2 wounds. He takes 2 wounds. He is not dead. Stops him getting shot at as well. And it stops you falling out and assaulting something else because you can't fall back and charge. And that's the end of my turn too. So it was 6 points to 0. I forget what my orders were. I think one of them was advance. The other one was supremacy. And what was it? Oh yeah, Scout the Skies. Take out that bad boy. You're still on 14 wounds. I did not do that, but I did get supremacy. And symbol of the Fly Lord. Take 3 objectives and only 3 objectives. So that's 2d3 points. I could be back in it here. And Mephiston's dead, just saying that quickly. 2d3 points. For 4 points. So it's 4 points to Chaos. 6 points to the Imperium. What? Oh yeah, you've got the morale test to do. On a 6, they run away. But it's still 4 points to 6.
Well,
I was getting excited.
If they don't run away, it'll be 4 points to 8.
Oh yeah, 4 points to 8. Yeah, leadership 8. They lost 3. You roll a 4, so they're okay. These guys actually, they lost 5, but they use the chaplain's leadership because they're in range of the chaplain. And the chaplain's leadership 9. So roll a dice and let's add. So 2 plus 5 is 7. They hold. So it was 4 points to 6, but you have defended objective 4. So you've got double the points of me. 8 points to 4 in favour of the Imperium. But a couple of heavy hitters have fallen. Let's move on to Blood Angels. Turn 3.
With Mephiston slain, the chaplain is angry. He's barked out some orders. They don't seem to make much sense right now. But the Blood Angels have been told to defend Objective 3, to advance swiftly, and any self-sacrifice is to be deemed noble. So, basically, he's asked us to look after this objective here that this Fetid Bloke drone is on and these Blight Lord Terminators are very close to. He's asked us to advance units forward. If we advance 3 units, we gain a victory point. And he's said that any character that is killed in this turn, Blood Angel's character that is killed this turn, will grant me a victory point. So, I don't particularly want to lose any of my characters, but that's there anyway. We have moved this Bile Predator from round there and advanced him all the way around to here. I got very lucky, actually. I rolled 3 advanced rolls, and they were all 6s, and he can verify.
Yeah.
Definitely happened.
Yeah, when he said advance, they went schnell and started running.
So these Tactical Marines have moved off of Objective 5 and advanced 6 forward. Now, if I then pull Secure Objective 5 the next turn, I'll be very angry. These 5 Death Company Marines here have moved out of combat and screened this Malignant Plague Cluster because I'm quite confident the Chaplain can take him out in combat for some glorious fight this turn. These Tactical Marines have finished defending Objective 4. They've gone to defend the next objective. They advanced through the ruins. That's my 3 units having advanced.
Yeah, that's
and they are now within 3 inches of Objective 4. And of course, because we're Objective secured, we have in fact started to defend it, so they just have to survive. The Flyer is pushed up round the battle grid. He still can draw line of sight down to this Fetid Bloke drone and to these Terminators. So he can lay down some fire as he's banking round behind the ruins. And the scouts cowering up on those ruins are hiding. Hey?
What's he doing? Is he banking?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Just checking.
I mean...
I thought maybe you said something. No, banking's fine.
Yeah, okay, cool. This is a family-friendly show. And then finally, the Librarian... I've lost my train of thought there. The Librarian Dreadnought has moved around the back here in the hope that perhaps he can get Wings of Sanguinis and jump forward to take on that Plague Burst Crawler, I think is its title. Currently I'm not so concerned about that one because so far it's done an absolute diddly squat. So, that's our movement phase. That's why we've done what we've done. We're hoping for an epic fight in the middle here with the Warlord and the second in command from the End of All Things. So let's move straight into the psychic phase. Really simply, we're going to we're going to use
Wings?
Thank you. There we are. Wings of Sanguinis from the Librarian Dreadnought for a total warp charge of 5. He gets it on 6, and I imagine you're going to try and deny.
I'll try and deny you. I don't want you to hit my tank. I don't deny you.
Okay, so he has Wings of Sanguinis. So I
12,
will... he does move another 12 with the fly keyword.
Yeah.
I will resolve that in a minute, but what I'm going to do quickly now is cast the Quickening, which is 7, warp charge 7. For 8, so he gets that. How many can you deny? Just 1 or 2?
Just 1.
Okay, so he gets the Quickening, which means he gets an additional D3 attacks in combat and 3 inches to his advance and charge, etc. as per last time. So let's move him now. And it looks like this. He's right next to the Plague Burst Crawler, ready to take him on in close combat. Which means we now get to move on to the Blood Angels shooting phase. Right, so we're now in the Blood Angels shooting phase, and the first thing we're going to open up with is these 2 Tactical Marines. They're going to fire the Heavy Flamer and Hand Flamer into that Fetid Bloke drone. So the Heavy Flamer first for D6 shots. For 1. Strength 5, toughness is 6. 7, 5s. Nothing. And the Hand Flamer, D6 shots. 2, strength 3, so 6s. 1 wound, AP minus nothing.
Save.
He is fine. Next we'll move on to the Sanguinary Guard and their 2 Angelus bolt guns. Same target. 3s. That's 1 hit. I'll put these dice down in a minute. 5s. That's a wound at minus 1.
4 up. Save.
And he's fine. That's annoying at best. The Chaplain is going to fire his pistol into the Malignant Plague Caster.
Point blank range.
Hits. 5s. Doesn't wound. And the Librarian Dreadnought's going to fire his Stormbolter over into the Blight Lord Terminators. So that's 4 shots. 3 hits. Again, 5s. 1 wound.
2 up save. Yay. So far you've killed nothing.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for pointing that one out to me.
But you've got the Storm Eagle, I'm sure he can do some damage.
He hasn't so far. So the Storm Eagle, he's going to fire his stuff and things. Hang on.
How you got these?
I know I've got those.
And I'm thinking about firing them at him because they do mortal wounds on
They
sixes.
do mortal wounds, yeah.
So the scouts are going to fire their 4 sniper rifles, actually, before we open up the Storm Eagle, into this Fetid bloke drone. So 4 shots hitting on 3s.
Okay. Nice.
All hit. Strength is 4.
Toughness 5.
5 to win, but 6 is a mortal wounds. That's what we're aiming for.
You haven't done any mortal wounds or any wounds or anything.
No, I really want scouts to be good, and just not. So the Storm Eagle.
Yes.
Okay. Multi-melter.
Yes.
And Vengeance Launcher.
Yes.
Blight Lord Terminators right below him.
These guys.
Yep.
Okay.
2 twin last cannons.
Yes.
Fetid bloke drone.
Okay. What's the worst that could happen?
I mean, splitting fire always works.
Yeah.
So first we're going to fire the 2 twin last cannons because actually no, I think that's going to be our climax.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. So the twin multi-melter first into the Terminators hitting on 3s because of power of the machine spirit. Hits once. Strength 8, toughness 5, 3 to wound. Doesn't wound.
He's not a very good shot, this guy.
He's not, is he? Vengeance Launcher, 2d6 shots for 9. That's better.
Mind you, now I've said that, you'll probably annihilate these guys with a Vengeance Launcher.
Hitting on 3s. Strength 5, toughness 5, winning on 4s, -1 AP. So that is 2 wounds in total at -1 AP.
Iron falls from the sky, and we take a wound. Disgustingly resilient. Take a wound,
Okay.
but don't kill any.
No, don't kill any. So this has been a dreadful shooting phase from the Blood Angels. So finally, that Storm Eagle is going to open up with its 2 twin last cannons into that Fetid bloke drone. So 4 shots. This needs to go well. All but 1 hit. Strength 9, toughness 7, 3 to wound. All 3 wound, -3 AP.
Demonic save.
That's not remotely close to funny.
Save 2. The power of the warp courses through my putrid flesh.
So D6 wounds
3.
for 3.
I'm disgusting and resilient. I can't believe it.
I don't know what to say.
That shooting phase, you wounded a Blight Lord Terminator, and that's it.
Yeah, we won't dwell on that. Let's move on to the fight phase quickly. Let's not talk about that too much. So we're going to do some charging. I don't know what to do now. Right, okay. So first thing we will do is charge the chaplain into the Malignant Playcaster. He will be in. You will get some Overwatch.
No.
Pistol, no. Next, we will charge the Librarian Dreadnought here into the Plague Burst Crawler. He will be in.
Interestingly, the mortar can't hit you because it's a minimum range of 12.
But your entropy cannons can.
The entropy cannon can. Let's do the sluggers first. No, and now the entropy cannons. The 6 could sting. No.
So
no,
he's in.
He's in.
And then finally,
Yes.
these Sanguinary Guard are going to charge.
Are they?
Yeah, the bloke drone. Yeah,
These are auto hits with plague
I
splitters.
know.
There's only 2 guys
Yeah,
there.
I know, narrative.
This is foolish. Number of auto hits. 6 auto hits. He's strength 5 right now because he's a little bit poorly, but he likes being poorly because Nurgle. Auto hits. Strength 5. Toughness. Yeah, winning on 3s.
Should you not have an extra one?
Re-rolling.
You had 6. That's only 5
Did
dice. Yeah.
Re-rolling 1s. Here's another one. There you go. 3 at -1. So 3 throw-up saves and 1's on 1 wound already. Oh dear.
Final
One
command
dies.
point.
Final command point? The last dandelion? Do you
No.
remember that in Ice Age with the last
Let's not do
dandelion?
that. So one of them does die, and then the other one will make it in on a 2d6 roll of that. There we go, he's in. That's cool. So we will do some charge moves and then come back to you with the fight phase. Okay, so Mr. Winters only has a single command point left, which means he cannot interrupt. So first thing we will do is the Librarian Dreadnought, I think. 3 attacks plus D3 for the quickening. So D3 is 2. So we have 5 attacks in total. He hits on 2s. He misses with 1. His strength is now good. It's strength 10, I think.
Okay, so it's higher than 8. That's fine.
I was right, it was strength 10. I just had to check for you lot so I don't get screamed and yelled at by Winters. Yeah, so strength 10, toughness 8, which means it's 3s to wound with his Force Halberd. That's 2 2s.
And didn't you only get 3 hits?
No, I had 4 hits from 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I need 5 up and vulnerable saves.
2 5 vulnerable saves. You
Nice,
failed
you failed.
both. And
Each
they are
does a flat
3 damage. So 6 disgustingly resilience because tanks get it too.
Yeah, they do. And it takes 4 wounds.
4 wounds, not too bad. Okay, so we will move on to the Sanguinary Guard with his axe, trying to take out the final 5 wounds from that Fetid Bloke drone. So 2 attacks hitting on 3s. Not like that, he won't. His strength is 5, toughness is 7, so it's 5s to wound. Oh, +1, 4s to wound because he's got the red thirst. Yeah, that's interesting. He didn't wound, and I'm wondering if I wounded with that other one on the Plague Burst caller, because Dreadnoughts also get the chapter tactic, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't know if I rolled a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's my fault. I missed it. I think it was a 2. We'll ignore it, and we'll move on to the Chaplain. He has 3 attacks base, but because I gave him Death Throes of Sanguinis, he gets an additional attack for a total of 4 attacks. He hits on 2s because he's a Chaplain, and he rerolls all failed to misses because he's a Chaplain, which is good because I had 2 1s. So he hits 4 times. His strength is 6, so he wounds on 3s. But because of the Blood Angel special ability, he gets +1 to wound, he wounds on 2s. So he wounds 3 times. -2 for a Crozius, isn't it? Or -1?
-2?
It's -1, not -2, apologies. So he has 3 4-up saves. He's only got 2 wounds remaining. He fails 2, and they're a flat 3 damage each because of his Warlord trait. I think we're thinking about spending his last command point.
I am thinking about spending the last.
Let's have a look at the face of a thinker. I'm not sure that's thinking.
On a 1, 2, 3, I spend the command point. I'm going to let.
So you're rolling a dice to decide if you're going to roll a dice.
Right, the dice gods say I don't spend the command point.
So it's 2 loads of flat 3 damage, so 6 disgustingly resilient saves. You need to make 5.
And he's dead.
He is very dead. He is very dead, which is good. I'm happy with that. So, second in command has now been taken out. There is no psychic presence left from the Death Guard. A Chaplain has done his job. The Librarian Dreadnought wasn't quite so successful, and the axe was dreadful. But hey.
Shall we strike back? The Plague Burst Mortar into your Libby. They have 3 attacks at this profile, and they always have 3 attacks. Hits on 6s. He misses. This thing has 2 attacks. He hits on 4s with his Plague Probes. 1 hit. It's strength 5. Strength user right now, so 3s to wound. That's a wound, and it's -2 AP.
Oh dear. So it's a 4-up save. There we go.
Which you make.
Okay.
And that's the end of the fight phase.
So that's the end of the Blood Angels fight phase, as Winters has just said, because he just likes to do my job for me.
Sorry.
These turns are getting much quicker now, which is good, because we're going to run out of time otherwise, because we like to talk and drink tea a lot. So, when we look at this battle grid, when we look at this battlefield, the Blood Angels are thin and spread out. The Storm Eagle gunship, which I'll be honest with you, I was expecting to pick up a lot more of the heavy firepower work than it has done this game, is still flying around doing a grand total of absolutely nothing. He still has 12 Terminators on the board. He still has his Plague Burst Crawler, I think near enough full health, if not full health. He's still got both of his Bloke drones, so that turn was dreadful. But we did kill the second in command. We do have Swift Advance. We have started to defend Objective 3. Now, I don't know how this one works. If I keep hold of this one, my characters die and you kill my characters, does that mean I score it?
If you keep hold of it, yeah. If you have it in your hand, you'll score it.
Because it says that we're slaying this turn, so it must be at the end of my turn that I can score it.
But you can score in the opponent's turn. So say I kill you. So you ditch cards at the end of your turn. So you have to choose whether to hold on to it or ditch it. But you could score it in my turn if you hold on to it.
We're going to ditch it.
I'm going to ditch it.
Well, it's not. I don't want to kill Blood Angels. We're going to ditch those. We've scored Swift Advance. We have defend Objective 3. So that puts me on a total of 9 points now to the end of all things 4 as we move into Death Guard turn 3.
It's 9 points to 4 in favour of the Imperium. Here are my orders. Ditching Scour the Skies. I've got Secure Objective 4, Blood and Guts, and Death March. Now, Objective 4 is there, so I'm not going to get that. But Death Marches get 3 units within your opponent's table half to get a point. So this drone finally is doing something. It moved all the way up there. It's in my opponent's half. We know the Blight Lord Terminator is deep in Liam's half. And this Fetid Bloke drone also fell back. So there's a point. That's 3 units in the Blood Angels table half. So that's a point. Secure Objective 4 isn't going to happen, as I mentioned, but Blood and Guts kill something in the assault phase. So I figure these Blight Lord Terminators can fire back up over their shoulders and kill those scouts with shooting. There should be a 4th one there. I think another one fell off. And then I need to charge into one of these units here, or the other Blightlord Terminators charging into one of these units here, falling back out of combat with a tank, because this guy's got the melter, and that's within 6-inch range, so I could hit him with a melter. So kill something in the assault phase is a thing. If I get these two, it'll be 9 points to 6, and I wouldn't have hit the, Death Company or Dreadnought. Death Company or Dreadnought. Which one to charge down here with those Blightlord Terminators? Not sure. But anyway, if this pulls off, Liam will have very little left in his hand. But to be fair, I've got very little left in my hand as well. I've got a couple of bloke drones buzzing around all over the place, and the Terminators. It has been a brutal game. That's what happens when the Blood Angels come and smack you in turn 1, pull off first turn assaults. So let's go straight on. I was going to say Psychic Phase, but you killed all my Psychers.
Quite proudly.
How rude. So let's go on to the shooting phase as well. This thing can't shoot because it fell back out of combat. I need to stop you defending this though. Defending objective 3. So let's spit on you with the plague spitters from that drone. Fill you with chemical stink and acid. Number of auto hits. 11 hits.
Oh.
Currently strength 5, wounding on 3s and re-rolling 1s. There's no 1s, but that was 8 wounds at -1, sir. 8 3-up saves. And one of them is left alive. Heroic stuff.
Are they not at -1?
They are at -1. What am I thinking?
Yeah, you're dead.
Everybody's dead. Everybody's dead.
I was happy to leave one alive, but no, I think they're dead.
Aren't we counting this ruins? I always thought it was counting all of that ruins. That looks like one big ruin to me, so it's +1, -1. And you only rolled a 2. So I think one of them's still alive, because that looks like one big ruin cathedral to me.
I'll put it this way, I'm not going to argue with you twice.
Okay. I'll get back to him, because I've got 2 dice in my hand, so let's do the Plague Spitters. This one into that tactical squad, which was scrabbling around on Objective 5, digging for lost treasure for the last couple of turns. It's found some treasure. It's called Acid in the Face. Number of auto hits. 9 auto hits.
That's a good round.
It is a good round. He's full strength, so strength 6. Wounding on 3s, re-rolling 1s because it's a plague weapon. That number of wounds, that's 7 wounds, sir, at -1. These guys are definitely not in cover. They were in cover when they were scrabbling around in Objective 5, but they're not anymore. So, 4 ups. Ouch. You lose 4. One Blood Angel, drenched in acidic filth, stands firm, listening to the screams of his brothers. Now we're back over here to the Blightlord Terminators. I need to kill that guy, because he's defending Objective 3. This guy is just a tiny bit out of the centre of that objective, because you measure to the centre. And I've got 4 combi plasmas in there. So how many combi plasmas do I unleash into one dude?
None.
Is the question.
None.
So I think what I'm going to do is put 2 combi plasmas into him and just the plasma part, because I'm in rapid fire range. One combi plasma into that guy, 1 combi plasma into the scouts, and all the rest into the scouts. So the 1 combi plasma into the Sanguinary Guard, hitting on 3s. I am in rapid fire range, and they both hit. Strength 7, wounding on 3s. And they both wound. And it's -3 AP, so here's a 2-up save, down to a 5-up save. Mind you, it's 2 wounds, right? Maybe I should have done more shots.
Just Sanguinary Guard, yeah?
Yep. He's alive. He makes them both his holy power armor, standing firm. Right, the 2 combi plasmas into the last tactical marine. 3 hits. I need 3s to wound. 3 wounds at -3, but +1 for cover. So 3 5-up saves to stop you taking this objective. He's dead. He's dead. So stopped you defending that one. One of the combi plasmas was up at the scouts. 1 hit. Wounds on a 3. Does wound. It's -3 but +2 because you're in a ruin. So he's a fine. Blight launcher up in the ruins. 2 hits. And rerolling 1s because it's a plague weapon. 2 wounds at -2 but +2 because of the camo cloaks. Basically you need 2 4-ups.
This thing's 2 damage each, aren't they?
It does D3 damage, but you need to make saves first. And you make 1 fail 1. It does D3 damage, killing one of the scouts. And then I've got the remaining shots from the last guy who hasn't got a combi weapon. And he hits. And he wounds twice, but they have 2-up saves. 2 2-up saves on the scouts. and they pass. So I killed, attacked a Marine, killed a Scout, didn't do any wounds on him, but I could potentially charge him. And now across to here. Right, let's put the Melter into the Dreadnought and all the other shots into the Death Guard. So Melter into the Dreadnought in Melter range. And I hit. So it's Strength 8, Toughness 7. At this range, it's 2d6 and pick the highest. Oh no, I've got a wound.
That's a wound, no, it's a 3.
That was a 3 to wound, yeah. And it's minus 4 AP. So, and then it's 2d6. Pick the highest for damage. Thank you for picking up my dice. That's how it works, right? It's not to wound, it's to damage.
Yeah, to damage, yeah.
I'm making mistakes again, aren't I?
You get excited, don't you?
I am, I'm excited. I might hurt the Dreadnought, hurt the Dreadnought. Okay, see how much damage I do.
I'm not picking that one up as well.
2. I just do 2 to him. 2 on the Dreadnought. 2 wounds down, 6 to get through. I'll get back to you. 8 shots into the Death Company. 3s to hit. Oh dear. Only 3 hits. And 4s to wound. No wounds. And let's do the Blight Launcher into them as well. 3s to hit. 2 hits. Strength 6. They both wound. It's minus 2 AP, sir. 2 5-up saves. And you make 1. It does D3 damage for 3 damage.
Stop them 3s.
They get 3 6s, right? They ignore wounds on 6s. No, so they only kill 1 Blight Lord. But they only kill 1 Death Company. These guys kill a Scout and kill a Sanguinary Guard. That's the end of my shooting phase. This thing can't shoot the tank because it fell back out of combat. If you fall back out of combat, you can't shoot unless you have the fly keyword. So now I've got some charges coming on. I'd hoped to have killed more Death Company and then charged the Dreadnought. That was the plan. Now I need to think about it. I'll go back to that. Because the Dreadnought, you see, the reason why is the Dreadnought can smite and he's got wings and he's faster. So he can move around with wings of Sanguinius all over the place. That's what it's called, right? That's psychic power?
Yes.
Yes. So he can move and he can smite and he can...
Quickening.
He's tougher than the Death Company. The Death Company, no doubt, hit like a ton of bricks when they come charging in.
Not so much with
but
4
this
left,
thing
though.
is... No. So,
4 left charges,
let's go
only
over
20.
here. He'll charge that. And that one will make the charge. Is that a Melter?
It is a Melter.
How rude. And it misses. Okay, he makes the charge. These Blight Lord Terminators will charge into that Sanguinary Guard. 8? Am I 9 away? I think I am. No, just out 9.5 away. So the Blight Lords do not make the charge. Now over here. I think what I'm going to do is multi-charge. Let's multi-charge. So I'm going to take Overwatch from both of them, which we'll do off camera. But let's find out how far the Blight Lord Terminator's charge. Multi-charging a Librarian, Dreadnought and Death Company doesn't sound like a good idea. But I'm so far behind, I need this to work. And a roll of 4, which will get me into combat with both of them. And this is where we end up. And now we pile in. Select a unit. I'm selecting this unit and then pile in 3 inches to the closest enemy model. So he will pile in that way, which is the closest enemy model, engaging the Death Company. And measuring up very carefully, I made sure that this is the closest guy to that. This is the closest guy to that. So these 4 can hit the Dreadnought. He can hit the Death Company. I've got 1 command point left. We are veterans of the Long War. We are +1 to our wound rolls. I need to kill something in close combat. And if I kill 3 things in close combat, which I'm not going to do because I'm not doing enough attacks there. But if I kill 1 thing in close combat, I'll be very, very happy. So let's start here.
You could kill 3.
I can't kill 3. I haven't got enough. Let's do the attacks from there. Right, this squad, the guy with the... Where's the sergeant? He's the guy with the axe. So he has additional attacks. This sword, hitting the Death Company, he hits on 3s. And he hits once. It's strength 4 versus toughness 4, but with veterans of the Long War, it's +1 to wound, so 3s to wound. That's a wound at -3 AP on the Death Company. 1 6-up save, which you fail, and a 6-up ignore wounding. One of the Death Company ties it. Nice, I like it. And then the rest of the guys are going to smack that. So I've got the axe and the axe. The guy with the combi melter is my champion, so he has additional attacks. So these are 5 attacks with axes. I hit on 3s. I missed twice, but with Veterans of the Long War, those dices explode. So I hit 4 times.
Death to the false evidence.
Death to the false, that's what I meant to say. Strength 5, toughness 7. Would have been 5s to wound, but with veterans it's 4s to wound. So 3 wounds at -2 AP on your Libby. And he only takes 1 more wound. How many did he take earlier? Was it 2 or 3?
2.
2. So he's got 5 left.
Mm-hmm.
Sword. Hit him with a sword. 3s. And it explodes on a 6. Doesn't explode. Strength 4. I need a 4. Doesn't wound. 5 to get through. I need the mace to do this. Number of attacks. That's 3 attacks. 3 attacks that hit on 3s. Only 2 hits.
Minus.
Wound on strength 6, toughness 7. Wound on 4s. 2 wounds at -2. And you make 1, fail 1. It does a flat 2 damage, dropping it down to 3 wounds left. And I didn't kill the Dreadnought.
I know.
Sad panda.
Not for me.
Over,
Happy panda.
over there. Let's do this one. Must kill something. He's got 3 attacks. This Fetid bloke drone. He hits on 4s with his plague probe. 1 hit. It's strength 6. Oh no. It wounds. It's -2. Please roll a 5. I mean, don't roll a 5. He didn't roll a 5. At least I killed something in the assault phase. And that is blood and guts. So now it's the Blood Angel's turn to fight back. The Librarian still has the quickening on. So D3 attacks for Librarian. 2 attacks. So that's
Total of 5.
5. And he hits on 2s. Yeah. That's a lot of hits. That's 5 hits.
Strength 10.
Strength 10. Wounds on 2s. Right, this... Maybe I shouldn't have charged the Dreadnought.
4 up invulnerable saves.
4 up invulnerable saves for Horus. I fail 4 of them.
Flat 3 damage each.
3 damage each. I got 5 guys there, so you're not going to kill them all. Maybe. 5 up disgustingly resilient on the first guy. Is dead. 5 up disgustingly resilient on the second guy. He's alive.
Yeah. Apart from
5 up disgustingly resilient for the third attack. Right, the second guy's dead. And 5 up disgustingly resilient for the last Terminator. It's dead. So you kill 3. Pulling these models away here. Right, in the fight phase, you select units that are within an inch of an enemy model or that charged. They are no longer within an inch, so you can't select them. They didn't charge, so you can't select them. The Death Company cannot pile in and join the melee against those Terminators. And that's the end of the fight phase. Had to pull away from the front, which is painful, keeping my sergeant alive. Had to pull away, take out the Blight launcher, which is painful because I like the Blight launcher, but keeping the mace in there because this melee will continue. And that's the end of my turn 3. Is it really only turn 3?
it is only turn 3. It's so bad the wife's already got home.
Yeah, I need to make a leadership test here. They will pass. They will hold. They know no fear. Or they used to know no fear. I do get a point for Death March. I do get a point for Blood and Guts, making it 6 points to 9 in favour of the Imperium. But with so few assets left on the table, how many more orders can we score? Let's move on to Blood Angels turn 4.
In a last-ditch attempt to save this day and repel this evil, the chaplain has given out his orders. We must defend Objective 3 still, defend Objective 2, and scour the skies. Now, defend Objective 3 came from the last turn. I didn't bin it because I thought I might have a chance of holding it, so I still got it. Pulled defend Objective 2, just below the scouts. And scour the skies, kill someone with the fly keyword. He has 2 bloke drones. They have the fly keyword. It is achievable. So I ummed and ahed, and I wasn't sure what we would go for, what we would do, how we would play. This is what we've decided to do. The scouts have dropped down into that bottom floor, so they finally are securing, defending Objective 2. They've started to defend it. The flyer, I've put that in hover mode. Basically, he still has 7 Blight Lord Terminators at full health, I think, sat in there. Maybe 1's on 1 wound. So I really need to do some damage to those. So I'm hoping that this flyer, maybe for 1 turn this game, won't completely whiff.
And also he can train his weapons onto this Bloke drone with 5 wounds remaining. We've also jumped forward this Sanguinary Guard on to start defending objective 3 again. Maybe he can defy all odds. Maybe his armour will stand firm and they won't be able to remove him from this objective. The Death Company have pushed forward here. There's only 3 of them remaining with the chaplain in support. But if I charge this tank, he's going to have to fall back again. If he falls back again, he can't shoot. So I'm quite confident the Librarian's got what it takes to deal with these Terminators. Let's hope the Death Company can force him to fall back, and therefore he won't have another turn of shooting. Finally, the Predator hasn't moved. He can draw arcs of fire into the Blight Lord Terminators in the ruins, so he can hope to open up with some shots and maybe drop some wounds. They are obviously infantry in ruins, and as we've just found out from his shooting phase, that means they get +1 to their save. So they're 2 up, remains a 2 up, even with -1s from things like assault cannons. So that's it. That's the crux of it. We're now going to move into, I think, the Blood Angels psychic phase. So the first thing I'm going to try and cast is the quickening on the Librarian Dreadnought, because I want those extra D3 attacks. They've done me so well so far. So D3 additional attacks, warp charge value of 7. That's 6. I have a command point, single command point remaining, and I'm wondering if this is worth it or not. I have 4 attack space. There's 2 models there. No, we're going to save that single command point, because what we're going to do now is cast Smite. On 5, I get it for D3 mortal wounds. For 2 mortal wounds, he gets 2 disgusting resilient saves. And the end of all things, lose another Blight Lord Terminator. I'm glad I didn't spend that command point now. I'm glad we saved it. That's quite lucky. So that's 1 more Blight Lord dead.
I'll take the champion.
Take the champion?
Yes.
Which means I'll stay in combat with the flail. That's the one, yeah. Cool, so we're going to move on to the Blood Angels shooting phase. So, looking at shooting, I was tempted to try and take on the Fetid Bloke drone with the Bar Predator. However, it is wholly within a ruin, and if you look through that window, you can see that it is more than 50% obscured. So he also gets +1 to his cover save from the Bar Predator. So, the Bar Predator is instead going to open up on the Blight Lord Terminators within the ruins. First of all, we have his assault cannon, which is 12 shots. He didn't move this turn, so he hits on 3s. Exactly 6 hits at strength 6, moving on 3s. So that's 5 wounds, but he has 2 up armor saves against all of these.
Yeah. +1 for ruin, -1 for the assault cannon, 2 ups, and disgustingly resilient. You kill 1 because 1 was on 1 wound.
Look at that! Isn't that good? And now we have the heavy bolter shots. So 6 shots from the 2 heavy bolters, hitting on 3s. That's much better. What am I trying to pick up there? Strength 5, toughness 5, force to wound. That is 4 wounds from the heavy bolters. They are -1, but again, +1 for being in wounds.
2 ups, 2 fails, 2 disgustingly resilient. Yes.
Oh, the Predator was on target. He hit his mark. Blew chunks from the Blight Lords. They just don't care. Bolt gun fire from the Death Company. Sniper fire from the scouts that dropped to that bottom floor. All came into the Fetid Bloke drone. Nothing. No damage, nada. So, what we're going to do is go for the tried and tested tactic of split fire with the flyer. And the Storm Eagle is going to fire all of his big weapons, his 2 twin last cannons and his twin multi-melters, into the Fetid Bloke drone. The multi-melters are within 2d6 damage range. That's partly why we're going to do it. Its Vengeance Launcher is going to try and drop 1 or 2 more Blight Lord Terminators. I'm hoping that what I stop him being able to do is take out both of these models that are defending objectives. If I manage to drop a couple of Terminators, he's going to have to, and manage to kill that Bloke drone, he's going to have to make a choice. Which one does he stop me from defending? That's my hope anyway. Let's see what happens. So, the first thing we'll do is 2d6 Vengeance Launcher from the flyer into the Terminators. We'll do it differently this time, in the hope it doesn't let me down. For 5 shots, hitting on 3s. That's 4 hits, strength 5, toughness 5. 2 wounds at AP -1, but +1 for being in ruins.
Fail 1, disgustingly resilient. No, I don't fail 1.
Okay. So now we're going to fire the last cannons into the Bloke drone. Let's please not whiff. Hits 3 times.
You can do it. You can't do it. Just 1 wound.
With a reroll. My final command point reroll.
Command point. Oh, 2 get through. 2 5-up demon saves. Which I fail. 2d6 damage.
That's 11
That's
damage.
11 disgustingly resilience to make. That's a lot of disgustingly
I'm
resilience.
not putting this past you.
5 wounds to get through. You can do it. It's fine. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, you easily did it. 1, 2, 3,
That
4, 5, 6,
goes pop.
It goes pop on a 4. It does go pop. It hits everything within 7 inches.
7 inches?
Yeah, so put a wound on a Blight Lord Terminator, which wounds him, doesn't disgustingly resilient hit, and misses your sanguinary dude.
Okay, so he's not within range of the sanguinary dude. He has wounded a Blight Lord Terminator, but more importantly, something with the fly keyword is done. Now, we're going to move on to the assault phase, and we are actually going to do some assaulting. So what we're going to do is declare these Death Company Marines charging the Plague Burst Crawler. We'll roll the Overwatch off camera. If he manages to kill all 3, then I'll reevaluate. If he doesn't, I will then roll to charge the Chaplain in as well. Death Company Marines charged in, and one of them took an entropy cannon to the face. Guess what? He doesn't exist anymore. But they did make the charge, which meant the Chaplain had a chance to charge in as well. He is charged in, and we have put him around here to keep him away from all this stuff over here on purpose. So we're going to do some attacks now. Now, the Death Company Marines charged, which means they have 4 attacks each. So a total of 8 attacks on the Plague Burst Crawler. The order doesn't really make any difference because Winters no longer is able to interrupt me. So they hit on 3s, which means a total 4 hits. They will, however, wound on 6s. Nope, sorry, 5s because of the Red Thirst. That's 3 wounds, actually.
And I failed all 3 saves.
That's not bad going.
Disgustingly resilient. No,
Oh, okay.
I only failed 1.
Okay, so it wasn't bad going, and then you ruined it for me. Anyway, then the Chaplain will fight. He has 3 attacks placed, plus 1 for the Black Rage, hitting on 2s. Rerolling 1s. I forgot to reroll the hits from my Death Company. So that's 4 hits. His strength is 6, so he wounds on 5s, but plus 1 for the Red Thirst is 4s. He wounds once. That's poor. Minus 1 save.
4 up. Do you want to reroll the hits for your Death?
There was 4 missed hits for the Death Company. Let's see if they hit this time. They do hit this time. This is re-rolling for the Chaplain that I missed before. 5s and 6s. 1 more wound.
4s to wound, because it would have been... Oh yeah, 5s and 6s. 1 more.
Yeah, so 3 up. Yeah, fine. Okay, so that's them done. They did nothing.
Did a wound.
A wound, sorry. Well, nothing really. But what they do is they force him to fall back out of combat, which means he can't shoot, which is more important than actually blowing it up, because I didn't think I was going to be able to anyway. Yes. However, we will now move on to this Librarian Dreadnought, taking on this final Blight Lord Terminator from that squad. He didn't get the quickening, so he only has 3 attacks.
Please miss.
Hitting on 2s.
He missed once. And you re-roll that 1 because the Chaplain. You stood next to a Chaplain.
Even the Dreadnought?
Yeah.
So he hits 3 times. Wounds on 2s.
2s to wound. 2
wounds twice.
2 4 up and vulnerable saves. I mean, even a Dreadnought, even a tank stood next to it would do it. But 4 up, and I failed them both.
Flat 3 damage each. You have 6 disgustingly resilient saves to make.
He's dead. He's dead.
He is dead. Wasn't a bad effort. That Blight Lord Terminator has been destroyed by the Librarian Dreadnought.
My tank is going to run over your Death Company.
It's going to try.
6s, 1 hit.
He did actually hit, okay.
Doesn't wound.
Right, sweet. So that is the end of the Blood Angels fight phase. The Dreadnought stands victorious over the Blight Lord Terminators that dared to charge this company ancient. He's now gone. The Plague Burst Crawler is going to have to fall back. I didn't do anywhere near as much damage to these Blight Lord Terminators as I'd hoped, and that plane is now in hover mode. But what we have got is the Scouts who have started to defend Objective 2, the Sanguinary Guard who has started to defend Objective 3. I'm getting ahead of myself and I'm getting excited now. To defend Objective 3. So those Blight Lord Terminators have to make a choice. Do they kill the Scouts? Do they kill the Guard? Do they take on the Flyer? Or do they try and fight 2 or 3 of all of the above? He has a bloke drone over here who's mostly out of the fight at the moment, but you never know, he might pull a lucky secure objective 5 or something. But we'll see what happens when we move into the end of all things, turn 4.
After scoring a point for Scour the Skies last turn, it's 10 points to 6 and the Blood Angels are running away with it. Here are the orders for the end of all things. Secure objective 4, defend 5 and overwhelming firepower. Secure 4 is here. Now, I'm not getting to that one. That's the one that's left in my hand from last turn. Defend 5, however, Is this objective back here that the Blood Angels were scrabbling around in for turn after turn? Maybe there is something under that rock pile after all. And we've learnt how disgusting and resilient Fetid bloke drones are. Maybe he can survive until the end of the Blood Angels' turn and get me 2 points. Now, as for overwhelming firepower, if I shoot one thing, I get a point. But if I shoot 3 things, I get D3 points. I've got a crazy idea. There's one Sanguinary Guard there. That's a point. There's 2 Death Company there. That could be another point. And there are 3 scouts back there. Granted, the scouts have a 2-up save, and the Sanguinary Guard has a 0-up save because he's an Heroine as well. But if he doesn't die with bullets, I'm going to charge him. So the way it's going to work is, I am going to overcharge 1 plasma gun and put it into him because it does 2 damage, and if you fail a save, it'll kill him. And then I'm going to fire the other 2 plasma guns, which are in rapid fire range, at these Death Guards. So that should definitely be overwhelming firepower. And then the other guns back at the scouts. Now, it's highly unlikely I'm going to kill the scouts, but it's worth a go, isn't it? Mind you, I could do the plasma. 1 minute. 1 wound on the scout. That may have cut out. That's a save. Liam told me about that cutout thing. So the scouts still live. And then it was the combi plasma coming in here. And I am not overcharging. So combi plasma on these guys. I am in rapid fire range though for the Stormbolter. 3's to hit. But I am firing both portions. It's 4's to hit. 1 hit. Wounds on a 4. Doesn't wound. And the plasma part. 1 hit. Wounds on a... That's a wound on a Death Guard. 6-up save. Which you fail, and 6-up ignore. Which you pass. Long story short, I killed a scout. A split fire all over the place. I killed a scout. I think if I could have just focused on a Sanguinary Guard, I wouldn't have killed him either. So I don't get a point. And you are going to defend that one. And you are going to defend that one. Sigh. So to make me feel better, the Blight Lord Terminators are going to charge the Sanguinary Guard. We survive the Overwatch, make the charge, and pummel him into dust. And that's the end of Death Guard. Turn 4. And I get no points. I don't get overwhelming firepower. I'm not securing Objective 4. I have started defending Objective 5. So it was 10 points to 6. But you get 2 points for defending Objective 2 with those scouts who you didn't think were doing you any good all game, but now suddenly they get you 2 points.
Yeah.
So it's 12 points to 6 in favour of the Blood Angels as we descend into turn 5.
The chaplain is consolidating his forces before he pulls away from this planet. They jump on board their flyers and get the heck out of dodge. He's told us to defend Objective 3. That was from the previous round. It's not going to happen. There is a mass of Blight Lord Terminators on there. He said aerial assault. He is instructed the pilot of that Storm Eagle to
kill something.
To finally actually manage to kill something. And finally, Valor of the Angels. He wants us to kill characters. There are no characters left, so that can't be done. But it's okay, because at 12 points to 6, we are quietly confident at this stage. So this is what we've done. The Bile Predator has not moved. Why? Because he still hits at full ballistic skill. Where he's sat currently, he can draw a line of sight to the Blight Lord Terminators and to the Fetid bloke drone. So I've got to make a decision there as to which one I open up on. Basically, aerial assault is kill something whilst using a model with a fly keyword, which is, of course, my Storm Eagle. Now, considering how reliable he isn't, I am contemplating using the Bile Predator to strip some wounds from that bloke drone first.
Soften him up with the tank first.
And then take down the rest of the wounds with that Storm Eagle gunship, possibly, maybe, if he does more than 2 wounds. Next, we have pulled the Librarian Dreadnought forward, and we've got Operation Get Behind the Dreadnought from the Chaplain, the Warlord. He is instructing his forces what to do. He sent his 2 Death Company, succumbed by the Black Rage, off to die. They are here to make another charge on this tank, in the hope that I force him to fall back again in the next turn, and
nullify his shooting for another turn. Because so far we've only had 2 turns of shooting from it. This seems to be quite a nice tactic and probably very frustrating for Death Guard players. That you keep charging his tank, it has to keep falling back, and it can't shoot the next turn. Obviously we are not going to attempt to defend Objective 3 because there are still a large number of Blight Lord Terminators in that ruin. And finally the scouts have climbed back up onto the top level to try and keep themselves away from the stench that is the Blight Lord Terminators. And that's about that. So we're going to move into the Blood Angels Psychic phase. And at this stage it would make sense to cast Smite. But I'm not going to do that. I want to try something different. Considering his previous success, what we're going to do first is cast Wings of Sanguinis on 5, which we get on an 8, and both of his psychos have died, so he cannot deny. And finally, the Quickening on 7. That's 6. We do have our final command point.
No, you burnt it.
Ah, we don't get Quickening, but we do get Wings of Sanguinis. That's exactly where he's going to go. So that's our Psychic phase complete. So we're going to move on to the Blood Angels shooting phase. So we have done some running off camera. Everything has fired with the exception of the Storm Eagle. The Bile Predator shot down at the Fetid bloke drone, opened up with everything, caused 4 wounds. He saved only 1 and then made 2 disgustingly resilient, so he has lost a single wound. The Dreadnought, the Death Company, etc. all fired into the Blight Lord Terminators and have achieved a grand total of nothing, as did the Scouts, because their shooting has been pathetic so far this game. But we move on to the main event, the shooting phase climax, I suppose is what we'll call it, where this Storm Eagle gunship, the pilot, is finally going to prove his worth as a veteran in the marine flying world and open up on this Fetid bloke drone. So first we will do 2d6 shots with the Vengeance Launcher for a total of 12
There's
shots. That's better.
The aerial assault orders come down the line, sir. Yes, sir.
So we hit on 3s.
See, that's all right.
Strength 5, however, and toughness 7. So we have got a total of 8 hits, winning on 5s.
That's 3.
That's 3 wounds are at -1.
4 up and 5 up. Disgustingly resilient. Takes another wound.
Takes another wound.
Eight
That's
left.
not too bad. So we will go for the 4 last cannon shots.
Yes.
Hitting on 3s.
Ooh.
Wounding on 3s.
No.
This
Misses
is
again.
this. I
The
am a
multi-melter
sad.
could do it. The multi-melter could do it.
So the twin multi-melter hitting on 3s.
Yeah, it might. 3s to wound. No, it isn't
Won't.
going to do it. It isn't going to do it. 5 up, demon save. It definitely isn't going to do
It's
it.
definitely not going to do it.
Took
He has
a
been
wound off.
dreadful. So he achieved the same as the Bile Predator. Look at that thing.
Well, to make yourself feel better, charge him with a Dreadnought.
I am going to charge him with a Dreadnought, and then you can roll some Overwatch. Right, I hit pause because we normally film Overwatch off camera, and Winters has decided to overcharge all of his plasma so they all die.
Well, because you're doing something crazy and silly here, which is come charging in to me rather than just smiting me. This is crazy and silly. I've got overwhelming firepower in my hand. If I kill him in the shooting phase, if I kill him with bullets, I get a point.
You do?
So I don't know if this actually works. Does the Overwatch phase work as a shooting phase? Where's my thing? Where did I put the thing? Actually, it says kill something in the shooting phase. This isn't the shooting phase. This is the charge phase. So it won't work for overwhelming firepower, but I'm still going to overcharge because I want to kill him. For spite.
I'm excited by this.
Overcharge, plasma guns, point blank range, hitting on 6s.
One's dead.
One's dead. There's another one in there. Yeah, there's another one in there. Hitting on 6s. He's not dead. And the last one hitting on 6s. He hits. He hits, you see.
He does hit.
He hits. This is a wound on a 3. That's a wound at -3, 2 damage. You've got 3 wounds left. Don't roll a 6. Please don't roll a 6. You don't roll a 6. He's got 1 wound left. Right, the combi part of the weaponry.
Don't forget the Blight Launcher as well.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. Don't worry. I'm going to that. Build up the dice. 6s.
Wow.
5 6s. 5. Wounding on 5s.
Oh dear.
3 wounds on the Librarian Dreadnought who dared to come charging into my lines. Saves. 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 Light launcher. Misses. Okay, he makes it in.
Yeah, thank God for that. I was a bit twitchy then on single wound. Cool. Okay, we did not get the quickening. So we only have 3 attacks.
Yeah.
We do hit on 2s.
Yeah.
with a miss.
Do wound on
We
twos.
do wound on 2s. With a miss.
4 up and bum.
Well, that was rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And I'm going to assume
Then I'll pile in.
he might be
Let's
dead
do
now.
The mace. The mace D3 attacks each, so that's 4 attacks. I hit on 3s. And I wound on 5s. No wounds?
Do you reroll 1s for plague weapon?
Let's say yes. No. There is 3 axes in there. There's 3 axes in there. The sergeant's got the sword. These hit on 3s, and Death to the False Emperor kicks in. So that many hits, 6 hits. I need 5s to wound, strength 5, toughness 7. And I get 3 wounds in at minus 2 AP. The Dreadnought's got 1 wound left. Dead Dreadnought.
Dead Dreadnought. Does it explode
Don't blow up. Don't blow up.
on a d6
Don't
roll
blow
of
up.
6? No, he does not explode.
Oh yeah, we forgot about these guys as well. They're charging in.
Yeah.
Death Company.
Yeah.
So the Dreadnought's dead. That
Yeah.
makes me much happier. And now I'm going to overwatch them with entropy cannons and get boxcars. I didn't. Last time, because the last time we didn't do it on camera and I killed one.
You did kill one, yeah. I didn't think it would happen again, but I just let it roll because you seem to be enjoying yourself.
Slugger. Well, I'm finally killing something. That doesn't wound right there.
Cool. Okay, so with that, now I've let him have his moment.
I killed a Dreadnought.
That was essentially a dreadful turn from the Blood Angels.
Don't you want to hit the tank with the blood things?
I mean, I will hit them. Will I roll it on camera, really?
Well, you're winning by 12-6. Let me have these small victories.
4 attacks each. Hit lots.
5's to wound. Because of red thirst.
1 wound.
1 free up. Make it.
Yeah, there you go. So,
Hit your back twice.
oh wow.
Wound you on twice. Failed 2 3-up saves, that'd be nice. That would have been mean if they'd have died. If they'd have died.
Yeah. So now I'm not going to be interrupted quite so rudely.
Sorry.
The end of Blood Angels turn 5. We didn't score any points, but I'm kind of okay with it. Only because it is into turn 5. I do have 1 unit in the enemy's deployment zone, although maybe should not have charged that Dreadnought in, so he was a little bit less susceptible. But hey ho. So I have got Line Breaker at the moment if the game ends. What I wasn't very happy about was the absolute embarrassment that is the shooting phase targeting that Fetid Bloke drone. Taking, 3-4 wounds of them in total? Pretty poor. So we didn't get aerial assault, but potentially, maybe, possibly in the next turn we can look at getting aerial assault. Yeah, there's not a lot left for either of us, really. This is interesting. We are still 12-6.
No, we're not.
Oh, you've defended objective 5.
Defended objective 5. It's 12 points to 8. And you got cocky over there. What did Han Solo say to Luke Skywalker with the thing when he shot the thing and the thing, great kid, don't get cocky? It's 12 points to 8. There is a comeback. There is a comeback here. It's going to happen in Death Guard turn 5.
We hope. He hopes.
It's turn 5. There's 4 points in it. The Death Guard need to defend 3, defend 4, and overwhelming firepower. Just shoot one thing. Right, to be absolutely clear, I do need it to go on to turn 6, but I have started defending objective 3. I parked a tank on it. That would be 2 points at the end of Liam's turn. Defending 4 I can't get to. It's minus 4 points right now. Now kill something in the shooting phase, overwhelming firepower. There's some death company there. That'll be a point. I am line breaking with the Fetid Bloke drone. That's another point. That's 2 points. And if I defend this, that'll be 4 points swing. If it goes to turn 6 and I kill something in the shooting phase. And there's his Warlord. And if I charge him and kill that, that'll be slay the Warlord as well. Now I would have had a Dreadnought to get through. But Luke Skywalker there decided to come charging at a unit of Blight Lord Terminators. It didn't work out well. Let's go straight on to the shooting phase. This thing advanced. It moved 15 inches. I rolled a 5. All the way over there. Plague Spitters are 9-inch range, so I am in range of those scouts. And let's drench them with filth, and I get 7 hits, which wound on 3s, and reroll 1s. 4 wounds in total there, my friend. 4 wounds in total, -2 plus, -1 plus 2, so 3-up saves. and one of the scouts falls, leaving the sergeant left alive. I still need overwhelming firepower. So the Blight launcher will go back at the scout and all the other guns on the Death Guard. Blight launcher at the scouts. 1 hit. Wounding on a 3. Rerolling 1s, it's a plague weapon. That's a wound. -2. +2 for chemical. Fail the 4 up, please. It's dead. Dead scout. That is overwhelming firepower. And now into the Death Company. Rapid firing plasma death. All of them hit. Wounding on 3s. 2 of them wound at -3, so 6 up saves. And you make 1. You need a 6 up to ignore the damage. 1 of them dies. And then there is a combi bolter left in there, which hits twice and wounds once. 1 3-up save, which you make. That's the end of my shooting phase. That's it. I did get overwhelming firepower. I am defending objective 3. Now I need to make a charge. I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to multi-charge.
What?
No, I need to get it to go on to next turn. Next turn I'll chase him down. They'll have to charge that Death Lord, Death Guard guy. He's Death Guard, right? Death Company.
Your Death Guard.
Oh yeah, I'm charging the Death Company. You can overwatch. That's how far they go. Oh, you get hit. One's on a wound, don't wound. Right, let's go into the assault phase. The Death Guard end up there and just run down that Death Company veteran. Then we consolidate 3 inches forward towards the closest enemy model. Right, it was 12 points to 8. I killed something in the shooting phase. 12 points to 9. I've got line breaker. 12 points to 10. It's the end of turn 5 and whoever went first rolls the dice and that's you. So if you roll a 1-2, you win. Good luck.
We want a 1 or a 2, don't we?
No, we want a higher than... What is that?
That's tension.
That's as cocked as you like. Let's try it again. It's a 4. We're going on to turn 6.
The chaplain, watching his men slaughtered around him, has pulled out his last set of orders. Well, I hope his last set of orders. We had defend objective 3. I've got rid of that. I can't do it. There's a great big toughness 8 plague burst crawler on it. So what he's told us is no prisoners along with aerial assault. He is barking orders across the Vox at the pilot of that Storm Eagle gunship. And Valdor of the Angels is kill an enemy character. There aren't any left because we've slaughtered them all. So what do? Not a great deal. The Predators stayed still in an attempt to open up some more firepower on the Death Guard. The Warlord, I was tempted to charge him into the Terminators in one last heroic attempt, but if he kills him, he gets Slay the Warlord, and I'm gifting him a point. So we haven't done that. He's pulled back. I advanced an inch, and that's as far as he's managed to go. But I am told by my wife that every inch counts. The Storm Eagle gunship over here, he's dropped into hover mode and spun round the pilot, banking hard, dropping down low to open up on the back of this Fetid bloke drone to finally prove his worth and take down the Death Guard monstrosity. I don't have a psychic phase because my Librarian died in a bath of glory and honour, I think is probably what we'll call it.
7 is Nurgle's number. Well, 3 is also one of the numbers of Nurgle as well. 3. You've got 3 units. I've got 3 units. There's 3 points in it. It could be closer.
That's narrative.
Blessed by Nurgle. Do you know what that means?
No.
It means that a Death Guard victory is guaranteed.
I don't think so. We'll leave it at that. Right, so Predator. Bar Predator. Didn't move. Opening up on Blight Lord Terminators. 12 shots. Hitting on 3s. We're showing this in the hope that I can mow down a couple of Terminators. Strength 6, toughness 5, 3s to wound.
That's pretty good.
So there we go. We have how many? There's 8 wounds.
These are 3-up saves because of Cataphracti and 5-up disgusting. No damage.
Yeah, nothing at all. That's
I like
upsetting.
these Terminators. I should bring more of them.
You should not. Heavy bolters. So that is 5 hits out of the 6. These are only 4s to wound, unfortunately. So that's 4 more wounds, also at -1.
3 up. 5 up. One's dead. One was actually on a wound, that guy.
Right, cool. Bolt pistol, I might as well fire it. Hits. Doesn't wound. So, the main event, because the scouts are dead, it's just the fire remaining. Everything, absolutely everything, all guns are blazing into that Fetid bloke drone, we need to take him down. So 2d6 shots from the Vengeance launcher for 4 shots.
Good start.
Yeah, hitting on 3s. That's 3 hits.
That's all right.
Strength 5, so 5 to wound. 1 wound at -1.
4 up.
Okay, but that's not the main event. The twin melters.
Yeah, this is worth aerial assault and overwhelm.
Yeah, you don't need to drill it home for me. Wounding on 3s. That one hit. Sorry, wounding on 3s. We wounded. That's the multi melter.
Melter, 5 up and done. No.
2d6. Pick the highest. For 4 wounds, I'll take that.
5 up. Disgustingly resilient. No, 4 wounds. Hits down to 4 left.
And now we have the 2 twin last cannons hitting on 3s. 3 hits.
Pilot's found his mark.
3s to wound.
He has found his
3
mark.
wounds, -3, so 3 5-up demon saves. Fails all 3. That's 3d6 wounds. That's 10 wounds.
10?
That's 10 disgustingly resilient saves.
10.
And finally, in turn 6, this pilot might pull off what I thought was impossible.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, yes. The drone blows up on a 4 and doesn't take a wound off the pilot, and that's worth 2 points.
So the pilot finally takes out something that isn't just a poxwalker in the shooting phase, which means at the end of Blood Angel's turn 6, because there is no charges, we did score no prisoners for a point. We did score aerial assault for a point. That puts us on 14 to the Death Guard's 10.
8, 7. I've got 7. I've only got 7.
No, I think you're lying to me.
I've got 7 points.
You had...
I've got 7 points. I've got 7.
Oh, I thought you had 10, and if you scored
No, was it?
defend, it was 12. We've killed one of your blokes, you don't get line breaker anymore, which takes you down to 9.
I've got confused somewhere.
So yeah,
You're probably
okay.
right.
So you've lost your line breaker, which takes you down to
Yeah.
9 points. What you have done is defended objective.
Oh, I probably didn't add on those 2 points.
So whatever objective you defended now.
Yes, that one.
So that puts you on 11, I think, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Right, we'll work this out because he's old and lost count, and then we'll go into
This
Death
is why
Guard.
I write it down on paper.
And then we'll go into Death Guard turn 6.
Right, it's definitely 14 points to 11. Things just got very interesting. I ditched defend objective 4 and assassinate. The only thing to assassinate, the only character out there is Warlord, so that's worth 2 points. Mission critical objective, get objective 3, which were tanks on. That's a point. In area denial, make sure there are no enemy units within 6 inches of the centre. Well, there's a bow predator there, but if I blow it up, not only is it a point for no enemy units within 6 inches of the centre, but there won't be any enemy units within 12 inches of the centre. And that'll be D3 points. So suddenly, the Death Guard are rising. And so I moved one of my 2 remaining units. I've got 2 units left. Definitely going to get objective 3. That'll be 14 points to 12. If I kill your Warlord, it'll be assassinate and slay the Warlord. And it'll be a draw if it ends. But if I take out this Bow Predator and get area denial, it'll be a victory.
Well, yeah.
For the ruinous powers.
As long as we don't go to turn 7, because this pilot is on it now. He is on it. He is juiced.
Is he? Is he juiced? He's all juiced up. More importantly, the Bow Predator isn't line breaking, your chaplain is. Let's fire this Plague Burst thingy bob into him. So, I need to measure up because of the 12-inch thing. So when you measure up 12 from the Plague Burst mortar, which is a minimum 12 range, that's where you end up. So, I guess the mortar can land on the corner of that tank. So let's fire everything from the tank into the Bow Predator, starting off with a Plague Burst mortar. A number of shots 2, that's not good. Hitting on 4s, but both hit. Strength 8, toughness 7, wounding on 3s. 1 wound at -2, sir. Which you make. 2 entropy cannons coming in hot. Both hit, hitting on 4s. Strength 8, toughness 7, wounding on 3s. And they both wound. -4 AP. You don't get a save. If I roll that again, that's a dead tank, because this does D6 damage each. Can I roll 2 6s in a row?
No.
No? Okay, let's find out. 9 damage.
Close, but no cigar.
How many's it got left? 2?
Yeah, something like that. 2, 3, 4.
Slugger coming in. Hits 3 times, strength 5. Wounds once, -1. And you take it. So it's 9 damage on him, right?
Let's check. Let's see how much he's got left.
Okay, so the Terminators then, I will fire the plasma. Yeah, let's do this. Fire one of the plasma and the Blight launcher at the tank. So if I kill it, I win. And then charge a chaplain.
It has 11 wounds total.
So it's got 2 left.
2 remaining. Overcharge plasma.
Overcharge plasma? Are you trying to bait me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll overcharge this plasma and fire it at the tank. I'll Blight launcher at the tank, and then I'll fire the other guns at your chaplain. So overcharge plasma and just the plasma portion, hitting on... Misses, but don't kill me. Blight launcher at the tank. Both hit. Strength 6, toughness 7. I need 5s. And I don't wound. The tank lives. The most that this game can be is a draw unless it's going to turn 7. Plasma at your chaplain. Just the plasma part. Both hit. Wound on a... not that. And then that's it for the shooting phase, because I was just fire the plasma. So now let's charge. Charge your chaplain. You can fire your pistol in a second. 4. I'm going to fail the charge. I'm going to fail the charge. I fail the charge. I don't assassinate. I do score the mission critical objective there. I don't get area denial, and the game ends on a 4?
No, it carries on. We're in the final game turn. Game turn 7. It's currently 14 points to 12. The chaplain, before he withdraws from this planet, has made these orders. Secure objective 4. Kill the king. And defend objective 5. Now, objective 5 was that objective that the tactical marines were on at the very beginning of the game. They were searching for something over there. The bloke drone went over there and he couldn't find what they were looking for. The chaplains decided there was still something important over there. However, what was more important was securing objective 4 in the middle of the board. So, obviously Kingslayer is something we've already achieved, and because it says it has to have been achieved any previous turn, we're going to get that one for, I think, D3 victory points. Which means it's going to stack it highly in the Blood Angel's favour, unless the Death Guard gets some really lucky cards, because we're currently 2 points ahead, and at this point we're going to be maybe up to 4 points ahead, because secure objective 4, we're already on it with the Bile Predator. We have left him there. His guns are blazing, trying to mow down these slow advancing Terminators, whilst the Storm Eagle pilot, having finally destroyed something with his weapons, has flown this way to pick up the chaplain and evacuate this planet. What that also does, obviously, is this gives me line breaker, because this was the end of all things deployment zone. So, with that in mind, we're going to roll straight into the shooting phase. The Bile Predator has just 2 wounds left after taking a pasting from the Plague Burst Crawler previously. It's going to open up with all its weapons onto these Death Guard Blight Lord Terminators. So first of all, the Assault Cannon now hitting on 5s. So 4 hits, wounding on 3s. That's all 4 wound at -1.
Take a wound.
It takes a wound, not too bad. Next we have the 2 heavy bolters hitting on 5s. Again, not that bad. Totaling 3 hits and wounding on 4. 2 wounds. Both pass. Okay, right, finally we have this pilot left to fire. Finally finding his mark in the previous turn. He's going to do everything he can to bring down these Blight Lord Terminators, because I think they pose a bigger threat to my Warlord. Because if I kill these, that tank has to shoot at the Bile Predator because it's the nearest.
He's covering their retreat, isn't he? He's covering your chaplain's retreat. I like it. That's narrative.
It is narrative. So, we're going to open up first with the Vengeance Launcher. 2d6 shots. For 2. Hitting on 3s.
Oh dear.
Yep, he's back on form. So 2 multi-melter shots. 1 hits.
3s to wound.
Wounds.
4 up and run.
Passes. And then finally the 4 last cannon shots. 3 hits. I expected better than this. 3s to wound. 2 wounds.
2 4 up and runs. No. D6 damage. 5 disgustingly resilience on 1 guy. He dead. Yeah, the last cannon blows him up.
So we did kill a Blight Lord Terminator. They are very resilient, those guys. I mean, they're slow.
I'm disgusting.
And disgusting, of course. Yeah, I wouldn't like to offend them by calling them something like clean. However, that then brings us to the end of the Blood Angels turn 7. If we look at the objectives quickly, defend objective 5, like I said, not going to happen miles away. We have, however, secured objective 4, and we have got Kingslayer for D3 victory points, because it says during this turn or any previous. For 2, that's 3 points, so that puts us on 17? 17 points for the Blood Angels, plus Line Breaker, right here. So unless he takes down the flyer, we are on 18 points to the Death Guard's 12. But we're going to move into Death Guard turn 7 and see if they can claw back those 6 points or stop me from getting Line Breaker or something. Let's see what he can do in
Look what I just pulled.
Final turn of the phase.
17 points to 12. My orders: assassinate, Kingslayer, area denial. Basically, take out that Warlord and area denial. More importantly, if I can blow up that Battle Predator, and I've moved, and assault and kill his chaplain, the only model you'll have left on the board is the Storm Eagle gunship. And as per the chapter approved rules, if you only have flyers, it's a tabling. So I've got to kill him and the chaplain. Now I can't shoot at the chaplain because he's further away from the Terminators than the Battle Predator. I have to actually make this charge. Let's kill the Battle Predator first. Entropy cannons from the Plague Burst Mortar. 1 hit. Wounds on a 3. Does wound. -4 AP. No save. D6 damage. Dead Battle Predator. Does it blow up, sir, and hurt your chaplain? On a 6 it'd be hilarious. No, it doesn't. Dead Battle Predator.
That's area denial.
That is area denial. That'll be D3 points. Now, I can shoot up at the Storm Eagle, so let's do that. All shots fire wide from the Blight Lord Terminators. It doesn't matter anyway. I will get D3 points for area denial, but more importantly, if I take this chaplain down, I will win the game. Now, we measured up. It's just over 9 inches away. I need to roll a 9 to get in there. I have no command points back. This is to win.
Yeah, I know.
Comes down to the last dice roll.
I've just said, if you fail this charge, if he survives, even if you make the charge and he doesn't die, he's going to get named.
Is he?
Of course he is. Look, he's the only model remaining. Death Company Chaplain, the only model holding this game down for the Blood Angels. I'm 6 points ahead with Linebreaker. You've got D3 for Area Denial, D3 for Kingslayer. You could then pull that to 18 points each, even with my Linebreaker. So it could still be a draw even if you don't kill him.
No, because if you only have units with the flyer type...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you don't kill him, it could still be a draw.
No.
Oh, of course, he's the Warlord. I keep thinking Mephista.
He's the Warlord. If you had like 3 flyers left on the table, because of the boots of on the ground rule.
Okay.
Long story short, he's going to get a name if I don't make this charge and don't kill him. Snow's a good name for Chaplain, by the way. Let's try and get a 9. Let's try and get a 9. All the tension. That's a 7. I can't make the charge. This is the way the world ends.
He's right. This is the way the world ends. The Chaplain has survived. We are going to have to name him. Perhaps you guys could comment below and give me a name for this chaplain. But he is the reason why the Blood Angels win the day. So, with your D3 points for Area Denial that you didn't roll, we were 18 points to...
There we go. 13.
18 points to 13. So there was a whole 5 points in it in the end. But actually, even for me, right up until turn 7, that was quite squeaky bum time, I think. That was quite a close game. 7 turns of absolute brutality. The end of all things, debuting on Moarhammer and proving how disgustingly resilient they actually are. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Enjoyed taking this list. 1750 is not a points number we normally play. But actually, I think we had a bit of everything. And it was quite action-packed. Have you enjoyed yourself, good sir?
Very good fun. It's always good when it comes down to the last dice roll. I've got 2 units left. You've got 2 units. You've got a chaplain jumping inside a Storm Eagle and banking out of here. I said banking. So that's always a good game when it comes down to the last dice roll. Really good table setup as well. Thank you very much for inviting me. You are a friendly mushroom.
I am a friendly mushroom. Thank you very much for coming down. Anyway, we haven't mentioned it yet. This is right at the end of the game, so most people probably won't see it. The battle mat is from gamemat.eu, one of the channel's supporters. The scenery, the ruins, and the rocks also from gamemat.eu. So thank you very much to the chaps at gamemat.eu for giving us those. The channel, much like Winters' channel, is sponsored by Element Games. There is a link in the description below. I would have probably put it across the screen a couple of times. If you please follow that link, then you do in fact directly support the channel by using that link, because they know that the sales come from us. So please use that link. When you make all your hobby purchases from Element Games, they sell all kinds of 40k stuff, scenery, models, etc, etc, etc. So thank you to Element for supporting us. Please keep using the link. And finally, if you want to, you can become a Moarhammer patron. We have 45, 46 patrons or something. There is a little community building. We have a Discord chat, because I have patrons that support me, and those guys are wonderful. And Winters has his own patrons too.
I also have my own YouTube channel, for those that don't know. There might be a couple.
I was getting to that.
Oh, were you? Okay.
So yeah, you feel free to support Winters on Patreon as well. And finally, he has his own YouTube channel. I would imagine that most of the 3,000 currently that follow this channel probably already follow.
A couple have come across from your channel, said they've never heard of me. New people. I like new people.
I think they're probably lying to you. But it's nice to know. It's nice to hear anyway. So thanks very much for watching. Please stay tuned for more.